Part 2, a video of exposure through patterns, a great awakening. If you haven't, please see part 1 first to this video. In this video, part 2, there will be celebrity references, an urgent warning from God, and divine intervention. Drake pattern. Is this where their cover gets blown? I noticed in my group chat there is a reference to the rapper Drake. On January 5th, 2023, Lena Webb, a classmate from Mother McAuley High School, posted a photo of herself in a black dress. Jordan Summer replied, "Do you like Drake?" On July 6, 2023, Lena posted photos from a Drake concert and captioned them, "My Scorpio." In the comments, O'Malley wrote, "Champagne Mommy," followed by a tongue-out emoji. O'Malley also posted a photo of Drake taken from his Pop Star music video, released on September 3rd, 2020, with the word "wow" on it. Lena replied, "Actually hilarious." Fiona Lowney commented, "Drake just told me he met you." And Lena responded, "That's what I heard too." Solus Ava commented, "Drake Queen," using 5 E's, and only one Vea commented 5 diamond emojis. In one of Lena's photos, she posted a person wearing a jacket with the number 21 on it, and I believe the person wearing the jacket was Drake. I've been repeatedly harassed with the numbers 21 and 5 to symbolize death. Lizette Acela wrote, "Blessed Drizzy Dre's eyes," with the fire emoji, and Lena replied, "You are missed." M Monaco 5 wrote, "Killer," with 2 heart eyes emojis, and Alyssa Razi wrote, "Dude, these flicks raw," to which Lena replied, "We're investing in a good digital." What's up _again commented, "Promote it on at Def Jam Record." On November 27th, 2023, Jack Elliott posted photos on Instagram and captioned them, "Been a heck of a year." But Drake wrote it out himself, "Yes, we goin' back to back," followed by 2 ring emojis. On Instagram, Richard Willis, who went to the same grammar school as me, put the quote, "I'm here for a good time, not a long time," in his bio, attributing it to Drake. Why is Drake being referenced so much? The end posts and symbolic timing. On February 23, 2023, Lena Webb posted photos with the caption, "Notice me at CISA." Her last image showed a screen that said "The End." Later, on December 24th, 2023, Ava Spreitzer posted a series of images that became visible on December 26, 2023. Her final photo also showed a screen that said "The End," and her caption read, "No place like home for the holidays." I interpreted these repeated "The End" posts in the timing of Ava's image becoming visible on December 26th as symbolic and connected to the murder we believe was planned on December 26, 2025. Why did 2 different people post "The End" a year apart, and why did Ava's post become visible specifically on December 26th? Make them answer those questions. On March 19th, 2024, Jack Gorman, a student at Brother Rice, posted, and in his caption, he wrote, "We out, hashtag 5th year senior." In the comments section, Michael Lundy wrote, "Killing you." Jack Gorman replied, "Name 3 brothers or you're done." Jack Keedy added, "Smells like war." We have been repeatedly harassed with the numbers 3 and 1, which we believe are being used symbolically. 3 referring to my mom's 3 brothers, and 1 referring to her half-sister. Seeing Jack Gorman respond with "Name 3 brothers or you're done" felt connected to that pattern. On October 7th, 2024, Gavin Smith, a student at the University of Missouri and a member of a fraternity, posted photos with the caption, Mr. Smith. In the comment section, several people responded with strikingly similar phrases. Logan Ellison wrote, "is a murderer." Alejandro C. Espinoza added, "is a murderer." Others shifted the tone towards titles of authority. B. Morcus wrote, "President of the Century." Tristan Stogstill commented, "Mr. Prez." Connor Rott wrote, "Solid post, Mr. President." Alex Newman added, "Fire Prez." And Chase Summerlin commented, "Mr. President." We believe the repeated president comments were referencing both the president of DePaul University and my mom's bosses at her former workplace. My mom's former office manager that called one of the partners there Mr. President, which made the repetition of that title in the comments stand out to us. Celebrity flooding. On October 28, 2022, the day after Raymond's birthday, Lena Webb, classmate from Mother Macaulay, posted a photo and she titled it, "Call Me at Drew Barrymore." On March 10th, 2021, Claire wrote in our group chat this random text, "Pull up in a yellow Lambo like Pikachu." On December 26, 2023, Jaylee Clemens posted a photo on Instagram and wrote, "I love baseball." In the comments, someone responded by posting a picture of Pikachu. On February 15th through the 16th, 2026, Logan Paul sold his rare PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator card. In high school and during college, I took MMA classes at the Academy of Self-Defense in Evergreen Park, Illinois. Over time, I faced bullying and signs of students and staff participating in cyberstalking. My mom put together a letter and mailed it to the owner, and she never received a response. Here is the letter. You can pause it or read in full on my Linktree. I joined MMA because I wanted to be part of a community that was against bullying. MMA is known for being against bullying. That was not my experience here. I noticed in my text messages from the group chat and from classmates that there were references to WWE. Logan Paul does WWE. There was also reference to boxing. Jake Paul does boxing. We have documented that several T-Mobile CEOs throughout the years have given out our passwords. Mr. Beast has a sponsorship with them, and the word Beast was mentioned several times in our group chat. Who else has had sponsorships with T-Mobile? Investigate. The word done keeps getting referenced as a puzzle piece by Empist, who is responsible for the hacking. Livy Dunn sponsors Jake Paul's deodorant called W, and his slogan is, "You probably stink." See my other videos referencing the word win and Christinky. Done and done are used in harassment where I interpret the use of the word as a phonetic for done. Livy Dunn, do you know anything? Why are these same names, brands, and symbols appearing across my school, my feeds, and my harassment? Make them answer that. Puerto Rico, Georgia, and personal connection. In 2021, my mom's brother Eric told me when I was in high school, "Don't you know that your dad is Puerto Rican?" I thought this was odd for him to bring up my dad, as my dad is not involved in my life. He also did this when my mom was asleep. The Paul brothers moved to Puerto Rico in 2021. My mom also told me a story that there was a man who lived in Puerto Rico and wanted her to move out there and marry her and promised land to her. I have documented gay references in other videos, and I noticed people posting content mocking Jake Paul being gay.
I have an announcement in 3, 2, 1. I'm gay. I hope every here supports me. Here's my makeup set. Look at this. Oh my gosh, guys, it looks amazing.
I also mentioned the name George earlier, and later saw that Jake Paul bought a property in Georgia in June 2025, my birthday month. On June 22nd, 2018, Jake Paul had a concert in Rosemont, Illinois. I attended his concert. I happened to be turning 13 years old, and he happened to be performing in Illinois that day. Why do these locations and dates keep lining up with my life? Make them answer that. Shower, toilet, and mirror symbolism. I noticed Jake Paul post photos of himself naked in the shower.
What the fuck is going on?
Win fights, then get W body wash.
What?
I got a shower before the after party. Vitamin infused.
Bro, are you serious?
Available at Walmart. Hey, you know him? No, get out of here.
Bro, what the
In front of a mirror and on a toilet. In videos posted on my YouTube, I documented references to showers and toilets being posted by my peers. I was a little girl being watched, and this continued into adulthood. This behavior needs to stop because they are trying to normalize it with young people. My stories with my classmates say it all, but what is happening to me is far greater than what the public can comprehend. Celebrities replicated by family, school, and Empist. I mentioned earlier that in 2021, Hannah said, "I think that all celebs are in the Illuminati." I documented this because it appeared in the same environment where repeated celebrity references were happening. It needs to be investigated why certain celebrities were repeatedly referenced in my messages and social environment. It also needs to be investigated why family, people from school, and Empist were replicating these specific celebrities. This includes repeated references to Bill Gates, the Xbox CEO, and T-Mobile CEOs. Look into this as we need answers. Other celebrity references. Here are some of the other celebrities that were referenced around me by classmates, teachers, or through my feeds. At Mother Macaulay High School, my entire senior class dressed up as Adam Sandler when they returned from summer break, and I had no idea it was happening. Michael Jordan was brought up multiple times, including when Miss McCormick told the class she found him hot. In my human pathogens class, we were instructed to label our test tubes with the names of the Kardashians and then told to pick one. My mom was also seeing Kylie Jenner videos in her feed even though she doesn't follow her. Lena Webb, a classmate from Mother Macaulay, made an Instagram post on October 27, 2023, saying, "Before you see it on TMZ, yo, Khloe Kardashian and Scott Disick had a baby." In the comments, Lizette Estella wrote 2 face emojis with hard eyes. Yes, Khlo money. Lena Webb was also the one to reference Drew Barrymore and Jack Harlow. Morgan Wallen was referenced by Hannah Hayes. Eva Spreitzer posted about Top Gun. Megan Fox was referenced. The Jonas Brothers came up a lot in our group chat. Leonardo DiCaprio was referenced more than once. Esmeralda, a classmate, posted a Snapchat drawing of a scene from Titanic. And one of my teachers also brought him up to me directly. Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber were also referenced. On January 20th, 2021, Hannah Hayes sent our group chat a photo of President Joe Biden with his hand on a Bible. It was a photo that Hailey Bieber took, and Hannah wrote, "Is God trying to tell me something?" Under Hailey's post, Sophia Richie commented with 5 clapping emojis. I have been documenting the name Sophie because it has been used symbolically in other parts of this pattern. Other names that appeared include Dancing with the Stars, Jay-Z, Kid Laroi, Post Malone, Rihanna, Cheryl Burke, Drake, Olivia Rodrigo, Olivia Dunn, Mr. Beast, and Jake and Logan Paul. On July 4th, 2022, Hannah Hayes posted a picture with her cousin and titled the caption, "Happy Birthday, Post Malone." On December 2nd, 2023, Hannah posted on Instagram a photo of herself wearing Post Malone merch. In the caption, she wrote, "Home Malone Santa Claus emoji." On March 26, 2022, Claire wrote in the high school group chat, "So my favorite baseball player, Jack Berger, liked my comment. And I know it is him cause the blue check." Claire also referenced on December 10th, 2020, Adam Engel, Eloy Jimenez, and Bernardo Flores Jr. have been liking her tweets. On January 28th, 2021, Hannah wrote in the chat, sad that Austin Knight's sister liked her comment. Dancing with the Stars, Cheryl Burke, and The Chandelier. In August 2017, my family and I were in Washington, D.C., doing a tour of the White House. I took a picture of a chandelier and posted it on Instagram. I received a total of 5 likes. Cheryl Burke with Dancing with the Stars was one of the people to like my post. I thought it was odd that she liked my post at the time. I didn't have any followers. It was just a random account I had made. I was only 11 years old, and the post had only been up for a short time before I took it down. On August 6, 2023, Angela Galgano from DePaul University posted on Instagram and wrote, August 6th, what do you know about it? I believe that is the day I posted the chandelier and Cheryl Burke liked it. At the time, my grandma and I would watch Dancing with the Stars together. Why did an 11-year-old's low visibility post receive a like from a major celebrity? And why did that date resurface years later? In 8th grade, my cell phone was acting up and we took it to the Apple store at the mall in Orland Park, Illinois. The tech told us he needed to wipe my phone. I was upset because it erased photos and texts I wish I still had. Later in 2024, hackers stole my mom's personal Gmail account. Why were the things I needed most the first to disappear? Money and bribery references. On October 29th, 2023, Aiden Dwyer, a student at the University of Mississippi, posted photos and captioned it, boxing emoji x banana emoji. In the comments section, Joelle Oringer wrote, hey man, thanks for letting me borrow your Lamborghini to drive to the vet with the money you gave me to save my dog. On July 13th, 2024, C. Mraznik posted photos with the caption, I'll take $1 million, a thumbs up emoji. In the comments, Nolan Ramoli wrote 1 million please. Nolan Navs added trillion, and Tommy Fiddler commented, I have nothing. On May 31st, 2023, Lena Webb posted photos and wrote in the caption, so how should I bribe them to go to Marquette? Taking suggestions. Why this needs exposure. Kids have been way too influenced in participating in harassment against me. And the real question is why? What is happening around them that makes them feel so invested in targeting one person? Why do they care this much? And why are adults acting the same way? The level of involvement from kids, from adults, from people who shouldn't care at all shows that something larger is shaping this behavior. When the same patterns appear across classmates, teachers, workplaces, online spaces, and even strangers, it raises questions that deserve real answers. This is why I document everything. This is why I speak about it publicly, because the behavior I've experienced is not normal, and the scale of it cannot be dismissed as coincidence or misunderstanding. It reflects something systemic, something cultural, something that affects more than just me. And that's exactly why this needs to be exposed. Demand exposure. Sophie. On May 7th, 2023, Veronica Greco, a former classmate of mine at Mother McCauley, posted photos and captioned them, pretty city with a pretty girl, woman with bunny ears emoji. In one of the photos, she included note cards from a museum, and one of the note cards read, the love is sure, heart, Sophia C. The name Sophia stood out to me immediately because I have been repeatedly harassed with that name, and it connects to something from my childhood. When I was around 3 or 4 years old, my grandmother on my dad's side told me that I was adopted and that my mom, Angelique, was not my real mother. She pointed to an actress on TV named Sophia and said that she was my mother. This is one of my first memories of lived harm, and it connects to a larger pattern of abuse and harassment that has followed me throughout my life. Watch my video, Puzzle Pieces Testimony, where I expand on the names Sophia and Sophie. As previously documented, the January 20th, 2021 post by Hannah Hayes showing President Joe Biden with his hand on a Bible needs to be investigated. The name Haley carries biblical roots connected to holy and light. And when combined with Sophia Richie's 5-clap emoji response, The symbolism in that post becomes significant enough that everyone mentioned should be included in the review. Alec Baldwin, the uncle of Hailey Bieber. Kathy Bickelhaupt, the office manager at my mom's former workplace, taped a picture by the back door, the exact door my mom mostly uses every time she enters and leaves the office. The picture showed the courtroom from the Alec Baldwin Rust case, where cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed in 2021 during a rehearsal when a prop gun discharged. In the photo, Joseph Moore, a partner at the firm, was sitting inside the courtroom. My mom does not recall seeing this picture anywhere else in the office, only taped to that one door she personally uses. No email was ever sent to employees explaining why this image was posted, and no context was provided. The placement was unusual, unexplained, and out of place, and my mom believes it was purposely put there to harass her in more ways than one. Hershey, the Whisperer, the number 5, the Wave. My mom's half-sister, Renee, had a baby boy who is now an adult. For the announcement, she sent out a Hershey wrapper for Here He Is. Sarah Fitzgerald, a classmate in grammar school, gave me the nickname Hershey. She said it was because of the color of my hair, which I know now was more because of Renee's baby announcement. Sarah Fitzgerald's mom and Caroline Andrews' mom also gave me the nickname Whisperer. They would coach some of our sports. I've documented that people on social media that I know and people around me would start to whisper on purpose. They wanted me to pick up on people who were gossiping about me, basically spreading what was happening to me that I had no clue about. I recall that around 4th grade, I received my volleyball pictures from school. While looking at my photos, there was a photo of Mrs. Fitzgerald and her daughter Sarah. Sarah was wearing jersey number 5. I documented that I get harassed with this number. Sarah also has twin brothers. They went to school with my brother at Brother Rice High School. I remember when my mom took my brother and I to eat, we ran into one of the twins. He smiled and said hi to my brother and waved. When he looked at my mom, he stopped smiling. He then slowly and awkwardly slowed down the wave and slowly lowered down his hand. What he did was intentional, and my mom questioned why he did that. In high school, classmates would say hi to me and wave, and it always felt odd because I didn't know what to make of it. These were not people who talked to me or were friends with me. Then Mason Mraz from Brother Rice High School sent me a video of himself waving to me. My mom experienced the same thing at her former workplace when an attorney named David stood outside her office door, waved at her, and started laughing. We also came across other pictures on social media of people waving, including one posted by Ellie Bickelhaupt of her mom, Kathy Bickelhaupt, my mom's former office manager, waving. While in Michigan, my mom said she saw the next door neighbor's son waving like crazy at my elderly grandma while her back was turned. Someone said something to him, and when he turned around, he saw my mom watching him. He didn't know she was standing there. My grandma also came home from work one day and said that 3 general managers at the Menards where she works, 9100 South Western Avenue, Evergreen Park, Illinois, all said, "Bye, Mary," at the same time, and all 3 waved in unison. She told us it was weird and asked why they did that. We knew the wave had meaning. Investigate and let the world know. My mom and I have also noticed that people who talk to my grandma at work correlate harassment, whether in the stories they tell her at work or in phone and text conversations. The damning text, December 10th, 2020. On December 10th, 2020, Claire wrote in our group chat, one of my favorite players, Adam Engel, liked my tweet wishing him happy birthday yesterday. Dead dude. Adam Engel, Eloy Jimenez, and Bernardo Flores Jr. have liked my tweets since November. She then sent sent 3 skull emojis. Immediately after, Hannah posted an image of Bugs Bunny with the caption, "I wish all people that have an instrument in their room that they still don't know how to play a very pleasant evening." Claire responded, "What?" followed by an 8-ball emoji. Kiara then sent a photo of a dog wearing a Christmas hat and wrote, "Christmas Walter." She then changed the name of our group chat to Christmas Walter. I documented this because the combination of references appeared in a single conversation on a single day. Happy birthday, the word dead, the names Jimenez and Jr., 3 skull emojis, Bugs Bunny, an instrument. I had previously noted jazz being mentioned, an 8-ball, Christmas imagery, star emojis, the name Walter. These were all themes I had already been tracking in my videos and written documentation. I am highlighting this specific conversation because it shows how many of those same references appear together in one place on one day. That clustering is why this moment matters in the timeline. All screenshots, narrations, and written logs are available on my Linktree, where every video is also transcribed in full. Music and message references 2021 to 2023. April 18th, 2021. Hannah sent a Spotify link to Nirvana Bleach, specifically the track Blue, a song about feeling trapped, pressured, and boxed in by the world around you. Hannah, now I'm going to bed. Good night, Chicago. March 24th, 2021. Claire sent a Spotify link and the song was No Body, No Crime. Underneath this, she wrote, "Ooh, my mom's making beef tacos for dinner." On June 9th, 2023, Hannah posted photos on Instagram and wrote, "2 cheesy beef sandwiches." On December 3rd, 2025, I received a notification on TikTok that says, "Hannah AB Letha Cannibal started following you." The beef pattern 2023 through 2024. On September 14th, 2024, Pat Connolly, a St. Rita student, posted photos on Instagram and wrote beef, hashtag our house, hashtag Howie, hashtag 101 miles per hour. On October 7th, 2024, Green TJ, a Marist High School student, posted football photos and wrote, "Having fun, number 75. In the comment section, Michael Flynn wrote beef. AB/AB symbolism. On February 12, 2024, Charlie Griffin, a classmate from grammar school, posted a pink piñata. In the comment section, Swashington Art wrote, "Charlie, you are looking great. I hope you are doing well. Mrs. Wash, paintbrush, picture frame emojis." In another comment, Lena Webb, a classmate from Mother Macaulay, wrote, "Sexy AB." The initials AB point back to my mom's brother, Raymond. In his contact list, he uses ABAB as the name for his wife, Nancy. To me, ABAB mirrors the sequence of 4 people in my own family. My mom, myself, my grandmother, and my grandfather. The TikTok notification from the username Hannah AB Letha Cannibal also stood out to me because it contains AB along with the words lethal and cannibal. Wash and paint symbolism. The reference to Mrs. Wash and Paint carries a different weight. I interpret it as symbolic language for covering something up, washing away the evidence and painting over whatever remains. In that sense, it reads like a metaphor for a crime that is being covered up. Emoji cluster, January 28th, 2024. On January 28th, 2024, my mom sent Esther, someone she used to work with, a link to an article titled "Cause of Death Determined in Unspeakable Slaying of NM Girl 10." Later that same day, Cassidy posted a series of photos and captioned them with a sequence of emojis. A red heart, a grimacing face, a skull, a crying face, and then 14 additional skull emojis. In the comment section, Shelly Kelly Rowe wrote "Queen of the Marquetians," and Charlotte Davy added "whoop whoop," followed by 2 red alarm emojis and 4 pointing finger emojis. On April 25th, 2024, I noticed that Emily changed the profile picture on her Daddy daddy_issues.o account. Before, it had been a photo of her licking a hammer. She replaced it with a mirror photo of herself giving the middle finger to the camera, and she changed her profile name from Your Mom's to Womp. Number pattern 8, 9, 7 plus 1, 4 plus 4, 6 plus 2. On April 7th, 2024, Lena Webb posted a set of images on Instagram. In one photo, she and two other girls are pointing directly at the camera, and Lena is sticking her tongue out. Her caption read 7 plus 1. In the comments, Greta Berkoff posted 14 number 8s. Caroline Conjar added 4 plus 4. Lena replied 6 plus 2. Anna Gerlach wrote 9. Lena responded pretty much. The references to 8 and 9 are being used interchangeably. The number 9 is used to represent the 9 family members that are participating in this crime. However, we know that the number of family participants is far greater. The White Shoes incident, March 2023. Around February 2023, administrators sent out an email stating that students could buy white shoes, decorate them, and wear them to school. I do not recall this ever being a tradition at the school. On March 7th, 2023, while I was eating lunch, Miss McCormick walked into the room holding a pair of white shoes. She asked if I wanted to write 2023 on them. I showed no interest, but she became more insistent and told me that I was going to do it. She handed me a blue Sharpie and directed me to write 2023 on her shoes. On March 9th, 2023, she passed the same white shoes around the room and told everyone to sign them. Upon examining the area where I had written 2023, I noticed that she had completely covered my blue writing, changed it to green, and added red and yellow beads on top of it. I now believe that the way she changed the blue 2023 into green and added beads made the design resemble a Christmas tree. To me, this felt symbolic, almost like she was turning what I wrote into something connected to Christmas. I also felt that covering my blue writing with green could represent a cover-up, especially since she completely concealed what I originally drew. The combination of the green coloring and the red and yellow beads is what led me to interpret the final design as Christmas themed, symbolizing both a crime meant to take place during Christmas time and a cover-up. Why did she ask me to do this in the first place just to cover it up? I also want to note that we believe this crime started on March 8th, 2007, and Miss McCormick came to me on March 7th. Joni Walter references 2021 through 2025. On February 5th, 2021, Kiara wrote, "Who is this?" and sent a screenshot of her lock screen showing that an Instagram account named @JoniWalter had requested to follow her. Above that notification, there was also a Snapchat notification showing that I had streaked her. On her phone, my Snapchat username was saved as Chris with an eye emoji next to it. Even though on my own Snapchat, I went by Christina Purple Heart emoji. She had changed it to Chris in her contacts. Recently, I noticed I was receiving puzzle pieces connected to the name Joni, and the hackers were manipulating my feed. I took Joni to resemble Judge Harjani and Walter to resemble Walton, partner at my mom's former workplace. Here's an example of Joni. On December 26, 2025, I received a notification from TikTok saying, Gen X Joni liked your post, with the X in red, and underneath it, it showed 1 like, 12 comments, and 1 favorite. After Kiara sent the lock screenshot of Joni Walter, Claire responded, "I don't know, check his bio." The next day, on February 6, 2021, first text of the day was Kiara sending a screenshot of Jack Orion's Instagram page. Kiara then commented to Hannah, "Hannah, you know, like everyone, and your cousin is a star, a TikTok star." This conversation made no sense, and I did not find any correlation between Joni Walter and Jack Orion, which raises the question of why they were sending and discussing this information in the first place. After I wrote this, my neighbor beeped their car alarm 6 times. I also want to add that in the Jack Orion screenshot, one of the suggested accounts was the name Angela, which stood out to me because Angela is being used as a reference reference to my mom's name, Angelique. Star symbolism and early childhood patterns. April 7th, 2021, Kiara wrote a total of 6 text messages referencing the word stars. Kiara, 0 stars for you, 5 stars for this other girl that said hi, 0 stars, it's annoying, 0 stars for not saying hi, 0 stars for being outbeat, 0 stars for the outfit because it is not goth themed. My mom recalls around 2017 to 2018 that Susan Gunty, the partner at the former firm she worked at, verbally called her a superstar. I found my school picture from St. Bernadette, where I attended all the way through 1st grade before transferring to St. John Fisher. My teacher back then was Miss Starr, and the assistant was Mrs. Healy. The name Star stands out now, considering how often stars are used in biblical stories, especially around the birth of Jesus. But what really struck me was something that happened at our table in her classroom. There were 4 of us seated together, and one day an eraser appeared with the word die carved into it. It was sitting right at our table. That is something a teacher should have noticed. So the fact that both teachers didn't is questionable, considering that they are the ones to place these erasers at our desk. The girl who brought the eraser to the teacher's attention was named Trinity, another name with direct biblical meaning. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Trinity. And she was the one who noticed the eraser and pointed it out. At the time, it just felt like a strange moment, but looking back, the combination of the names, the symbolism, and the fact that this happened so early in my life is another piece of that same pattern, one that started long before I ever realized it. Hello Kitty, mice, sewage, and rocks. In my 1st grade school picture at St. Bernadette School, I was wearing a Hello Kitty outfit. On December 15th, 2025, there was a sewage blockage, which we believe was done by someone outside the home. Right before this, we started to experience a mouse problem in our home, something we have never dealt with like this before. The timing felt deliberate and symbolic, given the Hello Kitty motif and the sudden appearance of mice. My grandpa told us that Mike said a rock caused the sewage blockage. On January 2nd, 2026, my grandpa said that he was told that one of the workers accidentally broke a water line. We still don't know the truth of what really happened. In 2020, I was up in Michigan and a girl named Kyra told me that she likes to decorate and hide rocks. At the time, I thought she was bored, but now I know there was more to her mentioning rocks to me. On September 7th, 2020, Kyra sent me a photo that was posted in the Cable Lake homeowners page. It was a post by someone named Catherine Ewing, and she wrote, "Whoever hid this cute painted rock," and wrote, "Hide me" on the back. We found it and hid it again. What a cute idea, and created lots of excitement for my guy. Happy Labor Day and happy hunting. The child in the photo is wearing a Batman shirt and holding a blue rock. I also recall in the 8th grade, right before the 8th grade dance, many students purposefully clogged the boys' and girls' restrooms, causing a flood. What's interesting about this event is that no one was held accountable and all were allowed to go to the dance. I believe the toilet clogging and the rock information were pieces to the puzzle of the plan to cause a problem at the Chicago residence and hope that we would go up to Michigan for Christmas. Flooding, basements, power outages, and dance references. I also want to add that over the summer, Sydney's grandma made reference to having bats in her home and wanting to get rid of them. She said she would put a fan in the doorway and turn it on in hopes that the bats would leave out the door. She also said that someone went into the lake water and was covered in leeches. This was not true. She also said that the brakes to her car were eaten by rodents. My mom asked her if this ever happened before, and she said no. See how the reference to bats connects to the little boy wearing the Batman shirt and holding a rock? I noticed on Sydney's social media that she posted a photo of her and her family cleaning up a basement that was flooded. In the caption, she wrote, "The basement flooded. We have no power or water, and we have decided the only way to combat all this is with a dance party." Notice in the caption, she said they have no power, but the lights are on. She also makes reference to a dance party, but no one is dancing. I noticed many references to the word jazz, music, and dancing. Why? We also want to document that ComEd had shut off our lights twice at night. We believe the hackers are putting them up to doing this. One of the outages occurred immediately after someone set off fireworks outside. The fireworks went off and the lights went out right after. The timing was too close to ignore, and the correlation between the fireworks and the power loss needs to be reviewed and investigated. Neighbor behavior and filming incidents. I also want to point out that I didn't want anyone to know what college I was going to. I had no idea that we were being cyber-stalked at this point. I do recall that when I was in Michigan the summer after high school graduation, I saw Sydney's mom at the lake. I was riding my bike and her mom yelled out to me. Her mom had her camera on her and was filming me while asking what college I was going to. While in high school, my mom went to Sydney's grandma's house to tell her what has been going on with me in school and wanted to know if they knew anything, and she said no. My mom also went to the mom of Skylar, who is a boy who lives 2 doors down in Michigan. She denied knowing anything as well. However, 3 years later, in the summer of 2025, she came up to my mom and I and asked how things were going with what we shared with her. She is now asking 3 years later why. We noticed that when she approached us, she was aggressive. We can tell she was looking for an altercation. When my mom brought up Skylar, she began to defend him. During this same vacation, my mom was getting groceries out of the car, and Skylar's mom did not notice me standing at the front door. I watched her take her cell phone out and walk past my mom filming her. Skylar would do the same thing as he would drive past the house. These weren't the only neighbors doing this. Trinity. Expanding on Trinity, besides the Trinity incident in the first grade, Triana with Apple confirmed the hacking. Trina Dornbos is with the Better Business Bureau. Trina closed my mom's complaint against Dollar Car Rental on February 18th, 2026, and claimed the responses were from corporate. This needs to be investigated as we do not believe this to be true. On February 20th, 2026, my mom received a missed call from Raymond at 8:31 a.m. My grandma told my mom that Raymond called her and told her he's hacked. What was his intent of saying this? At 8:19 a.m., Trina Dornbos emailed my mom, Mr. Beast, Miles Durkin, Mr. Bacon, and early symbols. I also recall in science class in the 6th grade that Mrs. Hughes asked Miles Durkin what girl he liked in our grade. He responded that he likes Beth. No student ever replied to this question, so I now know it was staged. Beth was symbolically used because of Bethlehem in the Bible. Miles Durkin also had a YouTube channel named Mr. Bacon. He said he chose the name because he loves bacon, although I now interpret it symbolically as money. Was Mr. Bacon meant to imitate or play off the name Mr. Beast, the massive YouTube creator? My mom filed a lawsuit on September 5th, 2025. The judge assigned was Thomas M. Durkin. Notice how similar Miles Durkin's name is to Thomas M. Durkin. On January 5th, 2019, a group photo of our volleyball team was taken. I was wearing jersey number 21. 20 days later, I was assigned to decorate a poster for Miles Durkin, and his jersey was number 20. This assignment, where the girls decorate for the boys, never happened in previous years. Biblical references and beast language. On March 14th, 2020, Kiara wrote about the beginning portion of Genesis, verses 1 through 31 in the Bible. In verse 25, God made the beasts of the earth. January 28th, 2021, Claire sent a picture of a Sox player and wrote 23, going to be 24 in March. In the photo, AI says this may be Nicky Lopez. Claire then sent another picture of a Sox player and wrote, man's a 23-year-old beast. In the photo, AI says this may be Lewis Robert Jr. Lewis Robert Jr., the second photo Claire sent, was turning 24 in August 2021. Mr. Beast, the YouTuber, was turning 23 years old in May 2021. On August 16th, 2024, Ricky Calth posted images on Instagram and wrote, Jordan 9697. In the comments, T. Salnato wrote Beast. I want to point out that the name Beast is the mark of the beast. Also, my dad's name is Ruben Jimenez, aka Jr. Earns, Ace Capitalization, and Nazareth Store. April 19th, 2021, Kiara wrote in the chat, this tracking confuses me, and then sent a picture of her Tea Tree Essential Blemish Control mask that was out for delivery. Hannah asks in chat, y'all, when is Mother's Day? Kiara wrote, but I want to get my mom an urn for my grandma. Kiara sent 3 cremation urns in the chat. Claire wrote, he is a beast at third base though. Notice that Claire capitalized ace and base. Why did she do that? Kiara wrote, it doesn't look depressing like this one. Kiara then sent another cremation urn. Kiara, she still needs one for grandpa too. Kiara sent another pic of an urn. The brand is Nazareth Store. Claire, let's go. Lewis Robert doubled and scored Tim Anderson. Social media beast references. On October 10th, 2024, Chris Pierce, a Brother Rice student, posted football photos on Instagram and wrote, sometimes you forget how far you've come, plus the necessary scars. In the comment section, Ryan Manef wrote, sometimes scars is what shapes the kind of person you are. MOFO beast. 2 fire emojis. Mr. Beast's Christian imagery and John 3:16. I also want to point out that Mr. Beast had a YouTube banner featuring a cross and the Bible verse John 3:16. He put this banner up in 2015 and took it down sometime in 2017 before he went viral. Mr. Beast started his YouTube channel in February 2012 and posted daily for 5 years with little success until his video counting to 100,000 uploaded in January 2017 suddenly blew up. In my high school group chat, Kiara referenced multiple verses from the book of John, including John 3:16 twice. Once on March 14th, 2020, and again on November 29th, 2020. In total, she sent 5 different verses from John chapter 3, and those repeated references, especially the 2 mentions of John 3:16, made the connection stand out to me. I also have reason to believe that I was hacked starting on May 12th, 2016, which was before Mr. Beast's major rise in 2017. Beast Games episode mirroring real events. In a recent episode of Beast Games titled Bury Me Alive, which aired on February 4th, 2026, 3 back-to-back moments stood out to me. One contestant mentioned the television show Survivor. Immediately after that, another contestant's parents pointed toward someone who was out of frame and said, he's from Bethlehem. And contestant Nick replied, that's my boy, Jack.
Flew to Fiji.
Fiji.
Guess what is currently filming in Fiji?
Survivor.
Love it. I love that you're here. Hi, Hannah.
Just Thrones.
We had rocket scientists here, and they are dumb.
Oh, stop.
My mom and my sister, we watched the first season together. Ever since then, I was like, I'm going to be on this show. And to now make it all the way to the top 10 and being able to see my mom come through the fence, it was awesome.
There's another kid, too, that's here that's from Bethlehem.
Jack, that's my boy.
That's insane.
Our first 2 weeks here, though, we tried to convince everybody that we were twins. What's our dad's name? 1, 2, 3, Rick. What's our last name? 1, 2, 3, Dontario.
We're brothers, and you can see it in the
eyebrows.
Yo, I'm top 10 in this.
Look, dude, that's my girlfriend.
I got a girlfriend.
No way.
Yeah, I fell in love. We've been dating the whole time.
Online information states that Jack McKenna is from Selkirk, New York, not Bethlehem. Immediately after this exchange, Nick and Jack identified themselves as twins and performed a telepathy-style 1-2-3 count before saying the same thing at the same time. This mirrors the encounter my mom and I had on September 5th, 2025, when two young girls approached us after we left the federal building, counted 1, 2, 3, and repeated the exact same answers in unison while insisting they had telepathy. On September 13th, 2025, we filed an amended emergency motion for protective oversight documenting both the federal building harassment and our encounter with the two girls while walking our dog. After this Mr. Beast episode aired, TikTok began circulating about Jim having a past relationship with Jeffree Star.
Jim from Beast Games used to date Jeffree Star. Just minding.
My mom's former workplace had two partners named James, and Jeffree Star was first mentioned to me in grammar school by a boy named Peter. I also explained how in the first grade, in Miss Star's class, an eraser with the word die carved into it was placed at the table where I sat with 3 other people. On the show, the contestant named James is dating someone named Monica, and my mom and I have been receiving prank texts and emails using the name Monica. I also want to note that Peter's Instagram username is Comrade. On November 8th, 2022, I received a text from that said, "Hi Dane, this is Monica, volunteering for Joe Gump for judge." On February 26, 2024, my mom received a text from that said, "Hey there, it is Monica again at Simple Lending." On May 24th, 2025, I received a text from that said, "Hello, my name is Monica and I am a recruiter at Top. We are currently offering a flexible part-time job opportunity. This position is responsible for assisting TEMU merchants with product reviews. Please note that applicants must be at least 21 years old to apply for this position." On July 22nd, 2025, I received an email from Monica Wojnicki about a holistic wellness gathering, which was sent to my DePaul University email. In the email, she said, "In the demanding world of nursing, it is easy to lose sight of our own well-being," and ended with, "Whether you are just beginning your path or deep in the trenches of nursing school, this is for you," with the phrase "this is for you" bolded. Throughout the email, she used various emojis, including a brain emoji. On that same day, July 22nd, 2025, the hackers placed a brain emoji inside the search button on my computer. The holistic wellness gathering she invited me to was scheduled for September 24th, 2025. This meeting date was exactly 4 months after the Monica text I received on May 24th, and both the text and the meeting date fell on the 24th. It also stood out to us that she sent the Holistic Wellness Gathering email on July 22nd, 1 month after my birthday on June 22nd, adding another layer to the timing pattern we were documenting. Comrade references and Professor Lee. In the same episode of Mr. Beast Games titled Bury Me Alive, Mr. Beast included a segment where the contestants are buried alive. At the beginning of the segment, he says, "Welcome to the graveyard," followed by, "The graveyard is full of your fallen comrades." The camera then shows multiple tombstones displaying contestants' names, their jersey numbers, and the challenge and episode in which they were eliminated. One of the tombstones shown is for Chris, jersey number 68, which states that Chris was eliminated in episode 3 for not building quick enough.
Welcome to the graveyard. Oh my god.
Oh my god, are those the graves of everyone?
Oh my gosh, stop!
This graveyard is full of your fallen comrades.
Yo, that's messed up.
Oh, kind of creepy, but kind of beautiful too.
Oh my gosh.
210 players entered Beast Games, and 200 have already fallen. Some gave it everything they had,
I don't want to go home.
while others it too safe.
She's not even going.
Some brought about their own demise. And others were outsmarted by their fellow players. Like Vance, who met his end in cubes when he was voted out by all of you.
Hate to see it.
Alongside Ian, who won a $1.8 million island. And JT, who eliminated his teammates for $1 million. And JC, returning from season 1, who gave the power of the $10 million coin to Monica.
It's for the greater good of everybody.
You gave me your trust. I will give you redemption.
And of course, Jeff, the season 1 winner of $10 million.
Go, baby!
Who sacrificed himself so Hannah and Katie could fight on.
Rest in peace, brother.
And most recently departed, Katie, a former ally of Nick, August, Jack, and Tyler, whose heart was smashed just last night. And Patrick, Einstein, Akira, and the countless other players who have fallen along the way so that you could all be the top 10 of Beast Games Season 2. But if you look over there, you'll see something very interesting.
This reminded me of my philosophy teacher, Richard Lee, at DePaul University. Professor Richard Lee, who referred to me and all of my classmates as comrades during class. On September 10th, 2025, I emailed my philosophy teacher, Richard Lee, and said, "In class today, you were reading off the names for attendance. You were referring to everyone as comrade. As you kept referring to everyone as comrade, Angelina asked me why you kept calling everyone comrade. When you said Comrade Hernandez, I raised my hand and told you that my name is Christina. You repeated out loud the name Christina and then said Christina again. You then asked, 'How are you?' You never repeated anyone's name twice, and you didn't ask anyone else in the class how they were doing. You singled me out. Why did you do that?" I also want to point out that Mr. Beast had a YouTube banner featuring a cross and the Bible verse John 3:16. He put this banner up in 2015 and took it down sometime in 2017. In my high school group chat, Kiara referenced multiple verses from the book of John, including John 3:16 twice, once on March 14th, 2020, and again on November 29th, 2020. 9/11 symbolism and building photos. On September 11th, 2024, I received a call from Dobbs Ferry, New York. The number was, on October 2nd, 2024, I received another call, this time from New York, New York. From the number, the following year, on September 11th, 2025, exactly 1 year after the Dobbs Ferry call, I was targeted by Dean Ellen Fingato and head of nursing Stephanie Bird. On October 6, 2025, I was removed from the DePaul University nursing program. On November 6, 2025, at 10:54 a.m., my mom received a call from Bern, New York. The phone number is, my mom was sending an hourly email to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission this day because they weren't responding to her. We believe the Bern call was phonetic for burn. On July 13th, 2023, Cassidy posted photos on Instagram. In one of the photos, she posted an image of many buildings and captioned it mid. On March 17th, 2023, Hannah Haymaker posted photos, and in one of them, she also posted a large group of buildings with the caption, "Let me remind you." I believe these building photos are meant to reference the 9/11 Twin Towers. We believe the Twin Towers are being used symbolically to signify our downfall and death. And Hannah's caption, "Let me remind you," also comes across as taunting. On April 21st, 2024, Danny Cahill, a classmate from grammar school, posted photos on Instagram. In one of the pictures, there is a boy peeking out from behind a wall, and Danny captioned it, "In the bleak midwinter." Cassidy's earlier caption under her building photo was mid, and the overlap stands out. It raises the question of whether mid was meant to resemble midwinter, hinting at when the crime was supposed to be committed. Bethlehem. In my earlier video, A Crime Built on Biblical References, I talked about how certain posts from classmates didn't make sense at the time, but now stand out with a completely different meaning. On July 14th, 2022, months away from Easter, Beth Ganan posted a happy Easter picture. At first, it just seemed strange, but now the timing, July, connects directly to fireworks and alarms. The same motifs that kept showing up in other parts of this pattern. We also documented that for years, we have been harassed with ongoing fireworks, gunshots, and car alarms. We recently documented that the wall-mounted fire alarm in our hotel room was purposely set off by an employee twice around 6:40 a.m. on December 14th, 2025 at the Green Mill Village Hotel. And when you look at Beth's name, Beth, short for Bethlehem, the symbolism becomes even harder to ignore. Bethlehem is the birthplace of Jesus, the beginning of the biblical story, so having Beth be the one to post an out-of-season Easter message fits the pattern of biblical references that kept circling back to me. Sun. We added in our filed complaint that we've documented a recurring pattern of symbolic sun imagery, interpreted as a covert reference to sun, appearing across digital platforms, printed materials, and behavioral cues. At the law firm where my mom previously worked, the partner who was planning to fire my mom had a jersey outside his office that said "Smokin' Gunties." It was out of place. It was symbolic because Gunty has the word gun in it, and a gun fires. On April 3rd, 2025, the day my mom was let go, Professor Bowman at DePaul University kept asking what if she got fired. On April 14th, 2025, another professor, Karen Nigel, made a comment about her son finally getting a job as a paralegal. The class laughed. I emailed her to ask what was so funny and where her son worked. In person, she said Johnson and Bloomberg. She claimed the joke was that he'd finally be making money. Can someone investigate whether he actually works there? Also, the name Johnson wasn't random. It was part of the pattern because of the word son. Just to point out that my mom was a paralegal. On July 17th, 2025, during a clinical meeting at DePaul University, a nursing student's digital profile image on Zoom featured a newspaper titled The Brighter Times. The image included a radiant sun illustration and the phrase, "You can do anything, but not everything." Just below the red heart emoji, the words, "Go easy on yourself," were softly printed, delivering a message of restraint cloaked in warmth. After I screenshotted the profile image, a different student exited the Zoom meeting simultaneously, amplifying the psychological impact of the moment. Notably, the student who exited the Zoom shared the same first name as my mom, Angelique. On August 11th, 2025, my mom received a misaddressed letter from the Illinois Attorney General's office addressed to Richard Jackson. That wasn't a mistake, it was symbolic. We've been harassed for years with names ending in son, like Johnson and Jackson, used to provoke and intimidate us. Professor Nigel did it at DePaul. Now the Attorney General's office did it too, another part of the pattern using son. I want to point out that Mr. Beast, the YouTuber's real name, is Jimmy Donaldson. Notice he has son in his name. Now let's go to some of the events that happened after we filed our first amended complaint. On September 10th, 2025, my first day of school, Judge Durkin reassigned the federal complaint to Judge Sunil R. Harjani. This was not procedural, it was symbolic. The word son in Judge Sunil's name had already been documented in both complaints as part of the intimidation choreography. The reassignment aligned with digital interference, clinical retaliation, and predictive sabotage. On September 10th, 2025, I emailed the president of DePaul University. I said, "Please see attached." I sent him a photo of my desktop screen flipped upside down by hackers. I asked, was it because it's my first day of school, or did something else significant happen at 8:41 a.m. today? In the subject line, I wrote hackers and Judge Sun. I used Sun instead of Judge Sunil Harjani because we were calling him out. We know he is aware. We know he's participating. He never responded. On September 11th, 2025, Dean of Students and IX coordinator Ellen Fingato emailed me to meet with her. I only attended one day of school since returning from summer break. I declined as I had active complaints against DePaul University with the Department of Education. Harassment by DePaul University intensified and the Department of Education ignored our emails. Attorney Stephen Worthington assigned a case number and disappeared. The same with the Illinois Board of Nursing. On September 12, 2025, the first day of my clinical rotation, Judge Sunil R. Harjani struck our motions referencing the original complaint rather than the properly filed first amended complaint. This procedural deflection was not accidental. It was strategic. Judge Harjani's refusal to engage the operative pleading suppressed expanded allegations and obstructed emergency relief. His actions align with institutional actors at DePaul University whose proximity to my educational targeting confirms coordinated intent. The rulings do not reflect judicial neutrality. They reinforce the architecture of cover-up. December 1st, 2025. The Department of Education was supposed to submit a decision and never did. My mom emailed the attorney and he ignored her email. Why would the judicial system seal our complaint from the public and yet strike our motions? That's because our complaint exposes a crime. Spy, Santa, culture, and names that stood out. I recall that when I was little, a girl named Sydney Lang told me she had received an email inviting her to become a spy. I remember telling my mom about this because it struck me as odd, and rightfully so. She said this in front of two other girls named Emily Lovato and Mia Larson. I know Emily from Chicago and Mia from Michigan. Looking back, the way Sydney said it and the way Emily and Mia reacted made it obvious to me that they understood more than they were saying. No one questioned it, and no one intervened. Sydney even made references to having to wear a disguise and change her name when speaking to different people, which now connects directly to the broader pattern of deception, surveillance, and harassment. In my Mother Macaulay high school group chat, on January 24th, 2021, Kiara wrote, "I have two accounts right now. My Epi and my personal. Neither shall be given." April 13th, 2021. Kiara wrote, "I need to clean my email. I have 8K emails in total from personal and school and Epi email. Is Epi being used to reference spy? We have reason to believe that there is a site blacklisting me, my mom, and my mom's parents. The hackers are blocking us from seeing it." January 25th, 2020. Claire wrote in our group chat, "LOL, we are like Santa Claus." Claire, "We know when you are sleeping and when you are away." The line, "We know when you are sleeping and when you're away," is a play on the lyric from Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The actual line is, "He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you are awake." Claire changed he to we, used know instead of sees, and replaced awake with away. Kiara, "You are not Chucky." Hannah placed exclamation marks on this comment. I recall that in grammar school, around 6th grade, my math teacher walked into our classroom to speak with who I believe was my English teacher at the time. While she was there, the math teacher told the class that Santa isn't real. The English teacher immediately pushed back and said that Santa is real. After the math teacher left, my classmates started repeating that Santa wasn't real. Miles Durkin, aka Mr. Bacon, acted shocked and said, "Wait, Santa isn't real?" People laughed and told him no, and he kept saying he hadn't known that. He was the only person in the room who still said he believed in Santa. On November 8th, 2022, I received a streak from my brother, and it was a mug that read, "Dear Santa, I tried." I received this after the trip I took to New Mexico for Raymond and Nancy's wedding. On November 21st, 2022, Emily posted a photo on Instagram of herself wearing a deer costume, posing both in front of and next to a white Christmas tree, with the caption, "Dear Santa," followed by a reindeer and Christmas tree emoji. Under the post, her boyfriend Colin Meese commented, "I'd smash that deer with my car." And Emily replied, "Rude." On November 28th, 2020, 2 years before her post, I had gotten a small white Christmas tree to decorate and keep in my room, and I sent a video of my tree into my high school group chat. In Emily's photos, exactly 2 years later, she was posing next to a white tree as well. After Emily posted her photos dressed as a deer, I started noticing that she began posting photos wearing brown outfits. On November 23rd, 2022, she shared photos wearing a brown outfit with the caption, "Heaven sent," in a brown heart emoji. I believe my first Snapchat account was created on November 23rd, 2016. Emily was the one who encouraged me to download Snapchat and make an account on that day. Looking back, I believe her caption, "Heaven sent," was meant to reference the date my account was created, and the phrase itself fit into the biblical theme we've been documenting. Then on March 1st, 2023, she posted another photo wearing a brown shirt and brown shoes against a brown background, captioned, "Oh hey there," with a brown heart emoji. In 2023, in my theology class at Mother Macaulay High School, a classmate told me a story that her parents won't let her drive anymore because she smashed the car by hitting a deer. She showed me a car with a dent in it. In 2021, I recall that Eric bought me an all-brown outfit for Christmas. It was not a typical Christmas gift that he would give me, and it stood out because it wasn't something that I would wear. On February 16th, 2026, I posted a video on YouTube titled "Formal Complaint, Homewood Suites in Orland Park." In the comment section, I received 3 comments by a person named Patricia Brown. Now looking back, it seems like the color brown was used to symbolize a deer. Around Christmas 2019, I painted a Christmas tree with a deer standing in front of the tree and hung the painting on my bedroom door. I believe the later references to deer were connected to that painting. December 11th, 2022, Riley, who is the stepbrother of Emily, posted a photo with his girlfriend where they are both giving the middle finger to the camera. He wrote, "That time of year, Christmas tree emoji. After the fire I had a few years ago, Christmas time hasn't been the easiest, but my family is always there trying to make the most of what we got. I appreciate and love you guys. Hashtag Christmas tree, hashtag Christmas." December 24th, 2025, Bill Judge sent my mom a text message at 12:16 p.m. It read, "Merry Christmas, Christmas tree emoji." The last time she heard from Bill Judge in a text message was on December 25th, 2022. That was 3 years ago. He is a coach with the surrounding Catholic high schools in Chicago. December 25th, 2023. Anna Nars, an attorney my mom worked with at her former workplace, posted photos on Instagram. She wrote, "Merry Christmas from my dysfunctional family to yours. Christmas tree emoji, present emoji, Christmas tree emoji." Underneath, there was a comment by someone named Ethan Nars, and he wrote, "Who that guy in the back on the second picture?" Anna Nars wrote, "I wonder who." Emily Weber responded, "Merry Christmas, Christmas tree emoji." As you can see in the photo, the man behind Anna and her boyfriend is standing there with his eyes wide open with a forced smile, and a female behind him giving the peace sign. My mom said right before she was let go from the law firm, she was working on a settlement and asked Anna when it could be sent out, and Anna's reply was, "I will let you know when it is time to pull the trigger." When we didn't know the extent of this, my mom would talk to Raymond about it over the phone, and sometimes he would say, "I need the smoking gun." There were times when my mom would talk to him at work with the door closed, and Anna would knock on her door to correlate. We are noticing the tree emojis being used specifically. My mom also noticed that Scientology letters were being mailed to the home but were addressed to her brother Eric. Eric has never lived at this address. He resides in Florida. My grandma said this has been happening for many years, but my mom only noticed recently. Why are Scientology letters coming to the home addressed to Eric when Eric never lived there? And why has this continued for years? On August 7th, 2020, Riley, the stepbrother of Emily, posted a photo and wrote, hashtag spy bar. A brother not born of blood can still be a brother in every other way. On January 1st, 2024, I took a picture of posts I saw on Hannah Hayes' Pinterest. One read, "Family isn't always blood." Right next to this post is another picture, and it says, "Daughter, spend your life loving, not seeking love. Ocean need not seek water. Dr. Jayla John." On June 9th, 2024, Renee Brazo, my mom's half-sister, posted photos on her Instagram and wrote, "Family isn't always blood." On April 25th, 2021, Kiara wrote in our group chat, "I still can't find the girl name that I saw and loved. Emoji with a tear. Because I liked it in March. Kiara. It started with a V." Claire mentioned mentioned many names that started with a V, but here are the ones that stood out. Valerie, Vicky, and Vivian. Valerie is the name of Eric's ex-wife, and Vicky is the name of my grandpa's sister. I do not know anyone named Vivian. However, 2 years later, on February 21st, 2023, I received a friend request on Snapchat from Vivian. On February 15th, 2022, I received a follow request on Snapchat from Teresa Iron. Teresa is the name of one of my grandpa's sisters. Now, going back to my group chat. On April 17th, 2021, Hannah was asking our group chat what color nails she should get. I wrote pink. Kiara wrote, no, pink is ugly and would make you look lime. Raquel. Kiara then wrote Raquel and sent a picture of a Barbie. Kiara, I liked Raquel when I was little. My mom's dad has a sister named Rochelle, and the last time I saw her was when I was little for Easter. My mom also had a friend named Raquel when she was little. Her brother Mike said he came into contact with Raquel as an adult. Mike also told us that Raquel is upset because her child wants a gender change. On May 21st, 2022, Lena Webb, a classmate from high school, posted a photo on Instagram of herself with another girl. In the background, a woman is bent down, hiding behind them. In the caption, Lena wrote, "Pretend Ellen isn't there," followed by a white heart emoji. My mom's half-sister's mother is named Ellen. Earlier, I mentioned they like to refer to themselves as a cult. On January 24th, 2021, in my high school group chat, Hannah wrote, "Yes, Always Forever" by Colts. On October 8th, 2024, M. Pearson, a student, a part of a fraternity at the University of Missouri, posted photos on Instagram and wrote, "Courteous and cultured." In the comment section, Jake R.S. Rocket wrote, "Cultured as they come." What stood out to me is the word court in courteous and cult in culture. Veronica Greco, a classmate from Mother Macaulay, posted photos for graduation, and in her caption she wrote, "Cult? No. Mother Macaulay graduation? Yes." In the comment section, Nichols Shelby wrote, "Me, when this isn't the last time I will be seeing her in white." During my time at Mother Macaulay, classmates would repeatedly reference a senior student who was pregnant, even though I never saw this student myself. I recall that in my freshman year biology class, a classmate named Kelly mentioned the senior who was pregnant and asked, "Is she going to wear a white dress to graduation?" and then started laughing. On October 11th, 2023, Ryan Mancini, a grammar school classmate, posted photos with the caption, "I love you, Mom," followed by a shrimp emoji. In this particular photo, he tagged King James, LeBron James. We believe this was done on purpose because there are two partners at my mom's former workplace named James. In the final photo, a man is shown holding a telephone. Seeing that image reminded me of a childhood moment when my mom took a picture of me sitting at her former boss's desk while pretending to use his telephone. In the comment section, Tommy Scott wrote, "Cultured." I also want to point out that Jake Paul took a naked photo of himself in the mirror where a shrimp emoji covered his genitals. I believe this photo may have been taken in early 2019. On January 28th, 2022, the principal at Mother Macaulay, Eileen O'Reilly, sent out an email regarding the Macaulay Tea page. In this email, she referenced school culture twice. Culture is being used repeatedly to resemble the word cult. Patterns of stalking, surveillance language, and the epi motif in my high school group chat. March 14th, 2020, Kiara wrote, "I'm being stalked." Hannah, "By who?" Kiara, "My family." Hannah, "Why?" Kiara, "They see and assume I talk to boys on FaceTime." Hannah, "Just say they are girls. We are girls." Kiara, "Especially my step brother." Hannah, "Say it is my friend's flat," and Hannah, which are girls. Kiara, "Also, I'm in a bad neighborhood going to a chicken place called Uncle John's." On March 17th, 2020, Kiara sent a screenshot of a message she received on Instagram from, in the text, wrote, "Yo, Kiana, I love your look. Saw that you are a fan of Youngblood and thought you'd like us too. Black heart fire emoji. Just wanted to say sup." Kiara, underneath the screenshot, Kiara wrote, "On on my Epi account. Hannah, LMAO, WTF, don't answer. Kiara, I did not mention anything of Youngblood on my page and on my other one too. Hannah, do you follow him? Kiara, no. Hannah, you commented on his last post though. Kiara, what? No. Hannah, yeah, you did. Kiara, where? Oh, wait, bruh, stalker. Hannah, no. Kiara, I just commented 3 black heart emojis. Hannah, yeah, I saw. You like my comment and yours was right by mine. Kiara, there was thousands of comments. WTH, LOL, mans is un artista de musica. Kiara sent another screenshot into the chat showing his Instagram page. Kiara, this dude kinda scares me. Should I block or just delete this message? Hannah, delete the message. I want to point out that in the March 17th, 2020 conversation, Kiara emphasized that the message she received from came to her Epi account. She reinforced her account again by saying, I did not mention anything of Youngblood on my page and on my other one too. Later, on January 24th, 2021, Kiara mentioned that she had both an Epi account and a personal account, adding that neither shall be given. She brought up her Epi email again on April 13th, 2021. What stands out is that in the earlier March 17th, 2020 conversation, she spelled her Epi account as EPI instead of EPY, and the resemblance between Epi and the word spy is notable. The word Epi was used only one other time in the entire chat. On April 6, 2021, Kiara wrote, nope, only watched Epi 1 do Cobra Kai. The word episode appears 125 times throughout the chat and is never abbreviated, making this the only instance where she shortened it. The standard abbreviation is EP, not EPI, which is part of why it stood out. The other time she used Epi was on March 17th, 2020, when she wrote under the screenshot on my Epi account, Hannah, is this you? Before sending a screenshot of an Instagram account named Akira with a purple heart next to the name. At the top of the profile was an email address beginning with epi.akira, which immediately stood out because it echoed the unusual epi pattern that had already appeared in the chat. The purple heart also caught my attention since my Snapchat display name was Christina with the purple heart. Underneath the screenshot, Kiara wrote, this random person follows me on my video edit account in episode 1 WTF, followed by, and I don't mention my video edit account on there. Hannah responded, no, it is not me and I don't make other accounts, LMAO. On July 21, 2022, Hannah wrote to me privately, not in the group chat. She asked, do you have like a fake account or anything? I replied, no, why? Hannah responded, LMAO, I'm trying to find this boy, but his friend that I think follows him has a private account, so I needed someone to follow him for me because I don't want to look like a stalker. On January 22nd, 2021, Hannah wrote, I'm watching The Night Stalker. On January 25th, 2021, Kiara wrote, why is TikTok stalking me? On January 27th, 2021, Kiara wrote in the chat, bruh, why is this on my Snap? She then sent a screenshot. The screenshot was an advertisement for the app Yubo, Make Friends. It says, Sleepyhead, if you are shy like me, I found a very cool app to make friends online. Click on the download button. Underneath the screenshot, Kiara wrote, Snapchat stalks me, y'all. No thanks. I don't like those apps. Hannah responded, nope. On January 29th, 2021, Kiara sent a picture of Hannah into the group chat. The photo was taken in freshman year. When Kiara sent it, the image displayed the words move and scale at the top. Underneath the picture, Kiara wrote, actually, no, I'm still stalker fry, followed by 29 loudly crying emojis. On March 9th, 2021, Hannah wrote in the chat, wait, Chris, how did you find that yearbook, you little stalker? On March 27th, 2021, I sent a picture into the chat from Hannah's Instagram account and asked her about the boy in the background. She told me it was her cousin. Hannah wrote to me, stalking my Insta. On April 22nd, 2021, the group chat was talking about going out together. Hannah, let's just hit up all the museums. Claire, I mean, we'd have to have adults with us though. Kiara, ew, we don't need monitoring. We are literally like juniors. Hannah, I'll bring my knife downtown. I'll protect y'all. Kiara, almost. Eye emoji, mouth emoji, eye emoji. Claire, they worry about me since I'm the baby in the family. Kiara, you don't know them. Kiara, then we'd be stalked all day. On April 24th, 2021, Kiara sent a screenshot into the chat. It showed a YouTube video she was watching by animemv.mp4. And beneath it, YouTube was recommending Tupaki-related products. After sending the screenshot, Kiara wrote, "Bruh, I'm being stalked. I only looked up Instant Tupaki once. Oop." Immediately after that, Kiara sent another YouTube video titled Tyler the Creator in School. On February 13th, 2020, Kiara wrote in the chat, "Claire, I'm watching you." Claire, what? Kiara, Hannah, she's being sneaky and wants to pass me up in the flash. Claire, what? Kiara, you're mean. Hannah, she's kind of still ahead because you skipped season 3, woman shrugging emoji. Kiara, I only skipped season 3 because it was confusing and all I saw was Barry and Iris. On January 23rd, 2021, Hannah wrote, "Where the heck does he go?" On March 10th, 2021, Hannah wrote, "We hacked the system," relieved a face emoji. On March 30th, 2021, while Kiara was talking about Julie and the Phantoms in the chat, she sent a burst of excited emojis. "I wish they can kiss," and then added, "Please, not Carlos spying on them." This stood out because we've been tracking the recurring use of surveillance-related language, and the word spying fits directly into that pattern. It also stood out because Carlos is the name of my mom's half-sister's son, giving the moment an additional layer of personal resonance. I also noticed a pattern where my group chat kept sending videos or talking about things that I had already seen on social media. On January 20th, 2021, Kiara sent 2 TikToks into the chat. I wrote, "Oh, I seen that before." On January 24th, 2021, Kiara sent a video into the group chat. I wrote, "Oh, I seen that." On March 1st, 2021, Kiara sent a TikTok into the chat. I wrote, "Oh, I seen that." On March 5th, 2021, Hannah wrote in the chat, "Not Charlie D'Amelio failing all her classes, saying she has an extreme school curriculum with 6 classes a day. Girl, we have 8 periods, bye." I wrote, "LOL, I seen that." On March 27th, 2021, Hannah wrote, "I saw one where she walked out onto the yard and some guy walked past." I wrote, "Oh, I know what you are talking about. I seen that too." Theft from the Bible. On April 16th, 2021, Kiara wrote, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen." Kiara wrote, "Steals." Next to this is an eye emoji, mouth emoji, eye emoji. Claire writes, "LMAO, no. No copyright, I'd get in trouble." Kiara then posts a photo of Jesus. Kiara then wrote, "I just came back from the hell dentist." The conversation then went into what the real color of Jesus's hair was. On October 27th, 2019, I was invited to Sydney Lang's house to celebrate her birthday early. We originally met in Michigan when we were little, and this photo shows us standing with her birthday cake, which was designed in the shape of a book with the words "Once Upon a Time." We believe that this book is supposed to represent the Bible. Here is a photo of a card Sydney mailed to me. Notice how she writes my name with a space in it. She writes Christ Ina. The word Christ stands out. Then Ina is written much smaller. On November 26, 2023, Sydney Lang posted a photo of her and another girl whispering into another girl's ear. She wrote, "Had a blast with this amazing cast and crew bringing the Bible to life, red heart emoji." In another photo, Sydney posted a girl doing makeup on a boy wearing a tiara. Mary Magdalene. On March 23rd, 2021, Claire wrote, "There might be evidence that Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene and had kids. WTF." Kiara then sent this TikTok. And then writes, "Nah, he didn't marry her." Claire, there's a lost gospel saying he did apparently and had kids. Kiara, nah, Mary Magdalene had a kid, but Jesus didn't. Claire, according to the lost gospel, it is true. On April 14, 2021, Kiara wrote, "Mary Magdalene sing is so good." Claire, please, who even is she? Kiara, a wife or a prostitute? March 19th, 2021, Claire, we are watching Jesus Christ the Superstar. Kiara sends a picture of someone with a crown on. Claire, bruh, the Mary that was a prostitute was the Mary that liked Jesus. Kiara, Mary Magdalene was the misspelling of Magdalene to Madeline on purpose to reference my mom's cousin named Madeline. Claire, yes, the one who had stones thrown at her, or nearly did. Kiara, wasn't she his wife? Where did you get this info? Previously, Kiara stated Jesus didn't marry Mary Magdalene. Now she is asking if Mary Magdalene was his wife. Claire, Jesus wasn't married, Key. Claire previously stated that there may be evidence from the Lost Gospel that Jesus married Mary Magdalene, and now she is stating that Jesus wasn't married. Kiara, why did it say that Mary was his wife? Claire, I don't know. Everyone knows she was that's why they wanted to throw stones at her. Kiara sends a screenshot regarding Mary Magdalene. Claire, she wasn't. Kiara sends a screenshot of the internet regarding who is Mary Magdalene to Jesus. At the bottom of the screenshot, I noticed one of the results said, did Jesus have a twin? I was in class, so I sent a text that said, what about Magdalene? Claire, she was a prostitute. I thought it was odd that out of any information she could have written, she wrote that. On April 14, 2021, Kiara randomly wrote in our group chat, Jesus pulling up with a gang of hippies. Hannah, please, yes. That movie is so strange. Kiara, please, I'm dead. I find it strange, all the mockery in the group chat and the persistence of speaking about it. Jewish references. On January 24th, 2021, Kiara wrote in our group chat, he just brought up Hitler. He thinks that Russia should be in Europe and likes Hitler. I'm blocking right now. On April 27th, 2021, Kiara wrote in our group chat, please, why did people hate Jews? Like, what's the purpose? If you don't like a Jew, you technically don't like Jesus because he is one. Hannah, literally. Plus, like, we're not supposed to be the ones to judge. Claire, exactly. This conversation was random and it reminded me of something that took place in grammar school where a girl in my grade named Isabella said that Ryan said to kill all the Jewish people. On March 25th, 2020, Kiara sent a meme in the group chat that said, today in cooking class, we will be cooking a Jew. Kiara, WTH Hitler 201. Hitler, I wasn't me. I didn't make the meme. I'm holy. We holy people support other holy. Right, Claire? If no one answers in 1 second, you are not holy, unholy. On April 22nd, 2021, Kiara wrote in the group chat, first, this dude questions me about God. Now he says that he loves Hitler because he was an animal lover. Said in quote, he was the most well-organized an orator and an animal lover. He also said, I like him for his good qualities. I'm done. I'm blocking and restricting. And he also said that Satan isn't a villain. Mice alert. November 30th, 2020, Kiara wrote in our group chat, there's a mouse in my house. On March 25th, 2021, Kiara wrote in our group chat, do y'all have mice in your house? Just curious. Hannah, no. Kiara wrote Cloner. Hannah added 2 exclamation marks. Kiara wrote Christina with question marks. Hannah added 2 exclamation marks. In December 2025, we started to have a mice problem we never had before. In the house, the hackers were placing cat meow sounds over the monitors for us to hear. On March 19th, 2021, Hannah wrote in a text message, I love Tom and Jerry, so nostalgic. In messages to me, Mason Mraz also told me his favorite cartoon was Tom and Jerry. Over the summer of 2025 in Michigan, the neighbor's son's wife said that our dog looks like Jerry from Tom and Jerry. On January 31st, 2020, Kiara wrote in our chat, why is everyone from China? Everything. They are still stupid for eating bats and live mice though. Uncooked mice. That's the number of coronavirus cases. No, I don't want to get sick because of those bat eaters. Ah, no, it is in Santa Clara. Ah. On March 18th, 2021, Claire wrote, as of right now, there won't be any babies there because there aren't any expected the next 2 years. The youngest one is 1 year and a half in May. Hannah wrote, I'd be like, could I hold the bat? Bro, we're expecting 4 babies, I think. The bat comments connect back to Sydney's grandma. We believe that the mice comments were foreshadowing the mice problem we had in December 2025. We also believe that the references to eating bats and mice were used as an underlying reference to cannibalism. On April 19th, 2021, Kiara sent 3 pins from Kiara's station through our high school group chat. One was mint chocolate cookies, the next was 5-ingredient vegetarian taquitos, and the last one was a cat. Regarding the cat, Kiara wrote, "I should make this my wallpaper. Watch my video on gas stations and why Biden kept showing up." I have reason to believe the name Kiara Station was a puzzle piece to a bigger plan. I believe they knew that the Michigan house my grandma owns was made from part of a gas station. That's why she said Kiara Station. I never told them this. March 17th, 2021, Claire sent 3 blind mice into our chat. I will place it up here and read it to you. 3 blind mice. I'd always assumed this was a straightforward tale of a trio of mice that had the misfortune of blindly walking into a farmer's kitchen. But shame on me for taking it at face value. It is actually a story about England's sociopath, Queen Mary I, who got the nickname Bloody Mary because she burned scores of Protestants at the stake. 284 in all. There is a Wikipedia page that lists each of them if you are truly morbid. The 3 blind mice in this story are supposedly the Oxford Martyrs, the 3 Anglican bishops who refused to renounce their Protestant beliefs and were executed by Mary for blindly following Protestant learnings rather than Catholic ones. I remember in 2nd grade that Grace McNamara was talking about Bloody Mary at our table. On February 2nd, 2026, my mom and I went through the McDonald's drive-thru at 9128 South Cicero Avenue in Oak Lawn, Illinois. And the woman at the window, Donna, called my mom Randy. My mom was confused as she has never been addressed by a name at a drive-thru, and the receipt itself listed the name Randy. The next day, on February 3rd, 2026, a TikTok appeared on my For You page about a male guinea pig named Randy who broke into a female-only enclosure and impregnated all 100 of them. On February 13th, 2026, we returned to the same McDonald's and Donna was again at the window. This location has 2 ordering lanes, and while we waited at the window in one lane, the cars in the other lane were having their orders taken before ours. We believe this was done intentionally. On January 19th, 2026 at 1:15 p.m., my mom received an email from Emma Moat, Turning Point USA, addressed to me, inviting me to join a Turning Point chapter at DePaul University. This email was sent to my mom's personal email address, even though I did not use my DePaul email. I am not a current student and I was illegally removed from DePaul in October 2025. The event ticket for AmFest was purchased using my mom's personal email, not my DePaul email, making this outreach procedurally impossible. During the week of January 18th, 2026, Empus manipulated my grandpa's monitors to emit loud meowing sounds. The noises were so realistic that my grandma believed a cat was outside crying for help in the cold. My mom recognized it as interference from Empus, the IT vendor from her previous workplace. The sounds continued for days and only stopped after my mom said out loud that it was not a real cat and that Empus was doing it. On January 25th, 2026, my mom and I went to McDonald's at 8415 South Pulaski in Chicago to get my grandma a hot chocolate. A female employee handed us a large cup of milk instead. We did not realize this until we got home. When my mom returned to the drive-thru, the female employee was no longer at the window. A male employee had replaced her. My mom said, "I'm sure you know why I'm here." And he replied, "Yes." When asked to bring the female employee back, she acted confused and denied involvement. Out loud, she said, "Emma must have done it." We interpreted this as a direct reference to the Emma Moat email my mom received on January 19th, 2026, a message addressed to me, inviting me to join Turning Point at DePaul University, even though I had been illegally removed from DePaul months earlier. And the event ticket was purchased using my mom's personal email. The female employee claimed the hot chocolate machine was low and only milk was coming out, and that the manager handed her the cup. Her explanation made no sense. We believe Empus orchestrated this incident as part of the symbolic harassment connecting the milk to the cat sounds and Hello Kitty motif. We also believe the employee knowingly participated in the cyber stalking. In my group chat, there were references to who has a mouse problem. We believe someone deliberately gave us a mouse problem to symbolically connect to me being in Miss Star's class in my Hello Kitty outfit, reinforcing the pattern of motif-driven targeting. Cursed and skeleton. On January 27, 2021, Claire wrote in the high school group chat, "So fourth quarter starts March 13th. Kiara, oh, ew, that cursed date. Kiara, March 13th is cursed. I already documented how we are harassed with numbers 1 and 3. And so this text is interesting. January 30th, 2021, Kiara wrote in our group chat, I hear this cursed audio on my FYP once. Now I am haunted. This was a TikTok on mashed potatoes. I've had issues with my orders at the Longhorn in Oaklawn, Illinois, where several times they would not serve me the mashed potatoes I ordered. I would always have to ask for them. This also happened with an online order with Red Lobster in Orland Park, Illinois. There was one order where we received everything but my mashed potatoes. Kiara then sent another TikTok and she texted our group chat, Fish Lives Matter. I documented in one of my videos that 50 cans of tuna fish were sent to our home right before I was illegally dismissed from DePaul University's nursing program. We did not order 50 cans of tuna fish. Watch the video titled DePaul University is Out of Control. February 1st, 2021, Kiara wrote in our group chat, they added springs on my wires where the canine teeth are supposed to be to make room for my canine teeth. I have the cursed teeth gene. Claire, oof. I never had spacers. Kiara, well, your teeth aren't as cursed as mine then. February 3rd, 2021, Kiara sent a photo of her dog to our chat. The timestamp on the photo says 1/2/2021. Kiara, look at that. Non-cursed images. Claire, cursed. Kiara, yes. On April 12th, 2021, Kiara wrote about her dream of MC.
I dreamed that MC had a paper that was from the forest, that if you read the paper, you die. The MC has 2 kids, 1 daughter and 1 son. I played as the daughter. So then weird things happened and a demon came back on Earth and started attacking the MC. So she held up the paper and they read it and died again. Then the MC shredded the paper and didn't, of course, read below the line. So then 2 exterminators came in and something was off. They wanted her dead. So then some female zombie came and canned a copy of the paper and came in with her fellow dead friends and killed the exterminators who turned out to be evil, then tried to kill the MC. But MC found another copy of the paper and showed it to the person and she started to die. The MC ran with her kids, then they somehow got into a super dark forest and there was something in the forest, so they ran back to the house and the son disappeared. The zombie came back with friends. Hannah, that just sounds like a straight up video games or movie. Geez. Kiara, the MC killed the friends and the zombie girl wouldn't die and showed her the cursed paper and she didn't look, of course, only at the ground and started to attack the zombie. Then the dream ended, but the paper was a death note. The MC could think of someone and show them the paper and they die. Weird ASF dream. Hannah, very weird.
Then she sent a picture of a mouse with a cross in its hand and wrote, I, a fellow believer in Jesus Christ, do not approve of this dream. What is her dream of MC? Is she referencing the hammer I talked about in other videos? From her dream, she mentioned something about a cursed paper and that the paper was a death note. I want to add that April 12th is my mom's birthday. April 20th, 2021, Kiara asked our group chat if she was doing her math homework right. Kiara, cursed images. The photo photo is of a skeleton with a missing arm and a sword in the other hand. Kiara, so I did it the hard way. On April 22nd, 2021, Kiara sent a picture of a notification she received from Marilyn Rush. The assignment says Pythagorean triples. Kiara, no. I don't know what this is, but it sounds cursed. On October 21st, 2023, Edmund Bickelhaupt, the son of Kathy Bickelhaupt, the office manager at my mom's former workplace, posted a photo on Instagram. It was titled, People in Places, Lobster Emoji. There were 31 comments. In the photo, he is sitting at a table in front of a bonfire with one other person visible in the picture. There is a skeleton sitting in a chair next to him. The person to the right of the skeleton is holding up a peace sign and is holding what looks like a donut to its mouth. The skeleton has its left arm raised and touching this individual. On January 1st, 2021, Edmund posted a photo and wrote, The naked skeleton angel and I would like to wish all of you a bangin' new year. On October 31st, 2021, Ava Spreitzer posted a photo on her Snapchat account. In the picture is a teenager wearing a Cubs jersey and holding a gun inside the mouth of a skeleton. The skeleton is wearing a red hat. Elm. On July 16th, 2025, me and my mom were walking near our home when a firework detonated aggressively. 15 minutes later, my mom received a prank call from an Elmhurst-based number around midnight. I received 2 DePaul lab safety emails that vanished upon app access. We identified this triad, explosive noise, location-linked prank call, and symbolic email as a psychological tactic aligning semantic markers with intimidation. This incident echoes prior interference, including unsolicited texts I received on November 28th and 29th, 2023. One message time-stamped 10:02 a.m. on November 29th referenced touring 30 E Elm 4F today and proposed a March 1st leased start date. On June 12, 2024, at 8:03 p.m., the partner at my mom's former workplace sent an email stating, and the St. Elmo bourbon was good. That day, the office had posted a potluck and bar cart. My mom recalls that out of all the drinks available, the reference to a beverage containing elm stood out as symbolically discordant. At the time, the detail appeared innocuous. However, following months of sustained digital compromise, including targeted hacking, timestamp manipulation, and symbolic baiting, my mom revisited the email and recognized the elm reference as part of a broader pattern. It now reads not as coincidence, but as choreography. A subtle insertion designed to provoke echo prior harm and thread symbolic interference into everyday correspondence. On August 24, 2025, my mom received a call from Health Advocate in Elmhurst, Illinois. The caller identified herself as Cynthia and claimed to be a home nurse. The timing and location Elmhurst stood out immediately, echoing prior symbolic references involving elm. My mom recognized the pattern and, perceiving the call as part of ongoing digital and behavioral interference, instructed the caller to cease contact and stop harassing her. The interaction was documented as part of the broader evidentiary record involving unsolicited outreach, symbolic baiting, and coordinated provocation. Following my mom's departure from the firm, I began receiving prank texts urging me to find a job. These messages were interpreted as harassment tied to the firm's symbolic exit framing. On May 10, 2024, at 3:19 p.m., the office manager at my mom's former workplace circulated an email stating, "We will be celebrating Cinco de Mayo on May 15th, despite the date having already passed." My mom recalls that same day she overheard a conversation between her brother Raymond and my grandma where Raymond was calling my mom crazy. Raymond is also the landlord. My mom had been talking to Raymond about the bullying I was facing, so it made no sense that he was trying to label her crazy. He also made comments to my mom that she would never be able to prove gang stalking. The timing of Raymond's phone call and Kathy's email is too startling to ignore. We interpret this performative celebration as symbolic messaging, marking my mom's firing that was being planned and foreshadowing forced relocation from our rented home, using employment, displacement, and digital signaling into coordinated harassment. On November 25th, 2024, at 11:13 a.m., Sally, a paralegal at the firm, sent out an email stating that one of the attorney's email accounts was currently down. The message continued, "And I have been having issues since 7 a.m., lagging and locking up." My mom found the phrase locking up unusual as she had been physically locking the door to her residence at exactly 7 a.m. that morning. This semantic overlap was interpreted as symbolic mirroring. My mom also noted a recurring pattern of coworkers emailing her precisely when she was leaving or returning home, suggesting a coordinated behavioral mapping tied to digital surveillance and psychological signaling. On December 12, 2025, the day before me and my mom left for our road trip to Arizona, we went to get our nails done with my grandma at a nail salon located at 2845 West 95th Street in Evergreen Park, Illinois. We noticed that the employee working on my grandma's nails was wearing a Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt. We believe the nail salon was made aware that we were coming and that the employee wore that shirt and was assigned to my grandma on purpose. Prior to December 2024, I told my mom that male employees at the salon would whistle, laugh, and attempt to gain my attention, often speaking in a language I could not understand. At the time, we did not connect these behaviors to the digital harassment campaign due to the language barrier and lack of overt context. In December 2024, me, my mom, and grandma were at the same salon. At the conclusion of the service, an employee handed my mom 3 lotion bottles, jasmine, pomegranate, and mango, without explanation. We observed that no other customer received lotion, and the gesture appeared targeted and symbolic. The bottles were labeled as originating from New York, a location that carries multiple symbolic associations, including digital compromise and emotional cues. The name Jasmine also matched the individual who signed an unexpected letter sent to my mom, which was information regarding the Student Emergency Assistance Fund, SEAF, from DePaul University, which was received immediately after she was let go from the law firm in April 2025. We are seeing Jasmine and Jazz referenced across many platforms. The pomegranate lotion connected directly to the Demeter and Persephone myth I studied in my DePaul mythology class, where Hades tricks Persephone into eating pomegranate seeds, which becomes the turning point of the entire myth. The mango lotion reminded me of a TikTok from Dancing with the Stars, where Derek and Mark did a dance together and called it the mango. We assert that the timing and product symbolism were not coincidental, but carefully choreographed to mock workplace loss, replicate private emotional distress, and reinforce surveillance-based interference. In 2025, a lotion bottle appeared at the receptionist's desk of my mom's former workplace, accompanied by a handwritten post-it note reading, "Please don't steal me," with a smiley face. The phrasing mirrored private conversations between me and my mom inside our home, specifically regarding socks, suggesting that internal family dialogue was being monitored and repurposed for psychological intrusion. This workplace incident was not spontaneous, but a continuation of symbolic messaging intentionally timed to reinforce public humiliation and private destabilization. During the same salon visit, employees began playing card games in the back of the salon, directly adjacent to where we were seated. This behavior was unconventional and contextually inappropriate, and we immediately recognized it as symbolic mimicry. We frequently play card games at the Michigan residence, and the salon's sudden replication of this behavior is interpreted as a deliberate psychological intrusion. Cookie 21 birthday keys. On October 18, 2024, at 10:07 a.m., a law clerk named Simrat Patel sent an email with the subject line, "Rest in peace, Liam." In the body of the email, she wrote, "My cloud wasn't working. Also, Liam Payne from One Direction died. Sad days." The next day, on October 19, 2024, in the parking lot of the Academy of Self-Defense, my mom and I saw a car with the license plate, "Rest in peace, Mom," for the first time. This vehicle belongs to one of the MMA students who trains there. My mom always waits in the parking lot while I'm in class, and we had never seen this license plate before. The timing Simi's unusual "Rest in Peace, Liam" message at the workplace, followed by the appearance of the "Rest in Peace, Mom" license plate the very next day, created a clear correlation. On October 21st, 2024, at 10:37 a.m., my mom ordered online from the Potbelly's located at 150 South Wacker, which is downstairs from where she works. One of the employees placed her food on a shelf where customers must be handed their order, something that had never happened before. On the pickup screen, she saw the name Eric, which is also the name of one of her brothers. Her order included a cookie. At 10:38 a.m., 1 minute after her order, the office manager, Kathy Bickelhopt, sent an email saying, "Happy Happy birthday, Simi. At 11:45 a.m., attorney Anna Nahr sent an email that included the phrase, not as cookie cutter of an argument, echoing the cookie in my mom's order. That same day, my brother called my grandma and said happy birthday, even though her actual birthday is October 23rd, not the 21st. All of these events, the timing, the cookie reference, the birthday messages, the name Eric, and the date itself point back to the reference to the number 21, including the fact that my brother called on the wrong day to say happy birthday. On October 22nd, 2024, the day before my grandma's birthday, someone left a key at our front door with 3 charms referencing Las Vegas. There was one charm with the letter M. My grandma's name starts with an M, and M can also stand for mom. During my mom's birthday 6 months earlier, she had mentioned to family that she was going to Las Vegas. This was something she made up to see if it would be repeated. The day after my grandma's birthday, we realized we were hacked. Birthdays are being used as symbolism. I found the key at the front door when I came home from school. I texted my mom what I found. She was working at her former workplace at the time. At the same time I texted her, she noticed a coworker named Kate was standing at an empty desk, watching her. My mom emailed her immediately to document the correlation. The coworker did not respond in writing. When my mom was leaving for the day, she ran into this coworker. The coworker said she was going to get candy. How can that be when she was standing at an empty desk, staring at my mom? She was correlating with me as I got home and found the key left at our front door. Now we find another set of keys. One of my mom's passwords was changed by the hackers to Subway 911. My mom and I always go to the Subway located at 8614 South Kedzie. We always sit at the same table in the same chairs. On July 5th, 2025, my grandma's sister's birthday, we walked in and found keys placed exactly where I sit. It was done on purpose. The receipt timestamp was 12:55:17 p.m., documenting the exact moment we arrived and discovered the setup. One of the workers, who was now off duty, kept glancing at my seat, as if checking whether we noticed. The placement was deliberate, the timing was symbolic. The keychains included one labeled Star Wars, one ring with 3 silver keys, another ring with 5 keys, 4 silver, 1 gold, a total of 8 keys with only 1 gold. The symbolism was clear. The gold key represents the family member who initiated this crime. The 8 keys represent the 8 original family members who knew. Watch my videos to see more correlations with keys. This is now the second time keys have been left for us to find. The first set was at our front door, timed to my grandma's birthday. The second set of keys are tied to her sister's birthday. Both incidents were coordinated, symbolic, and monitored. On November 15, 2025, my mom and I went to the same Subway, and this time an employee left $9 in singles on the seat my mom always sits on. My mom asked an employee, who identified his name as Peter, as to who did this. He immediately said she did it, referencing the female employee who went to the back room. We checked the date and realized it was the day before my mom's nephew's birthday. His name is Eric. In our high school group chat, Hannah and Claire always called Kiara Key, or Kiki, but they pronounced it as Key. That detail stood out later because the T-Mobile executive response lead assigned to my mom's case was Nikia Wills, a name that also contains the word key. We are not making assumptions about why these similarities appeared. We are simply documenting the repetition of the same sound and spelling across unrelated contexts, the same way we've documented other recurring patterns throughout this timeline. They are not just leaving objects, they are sending threats. This wasn't random, it was a deliberate symbolic drop time to family birthdays placed at our home, unusual spots, and watched by someone inside. Investigate this and it will come out. Death, Christmas, ornament, and tree. On December 8th, 2024, my mom's brother Eric called my grandma to tell her that my grandpa's mom had passed away. In separate calls made at different times, Eric also said that my grandpa's siblings Teresa, Vicky, and Vince had passed away, adding that Vince died a horrible death, but refusing to say how. Eric claimed he received this information from my grandpa's sister, Rochelle. 2 days later, on December 10th, 2024, Lowe's sent a package addressed to my mom's brother Raymond to our house, even though Raymond doesn't live here anymore. Some of his mail still comes to our address, and so does Nancy's, even though Nancy has never lived here. My grandma opened the package and found a snowman ornament along with hot chocolate and marshmallows. That same day, I noticed someone had smashed an ornament outside of our home. When my mom went to work, she saw that Mary Top, a coworker who sat directly outside of her office had hung up a single ornament from her cubicle, which stood out given the timing of everything that happened that day. 5 days later, on December 15th, 2024, a neighbor in Michigan contacted my grandma to tell her that a tree on her property was ready to fall. My grandpa has not had contact with his mom or his siblings for many years, so whether they had actually passed away is uncertain. The timing of the death of his mom, the ornament, and the tree falling was unusual. We also have reason to believe that many people deliberately arranged for the tree in Michigan to be damaged. This was symbolism, as it was in Michigan during the winter, and I have been documenting how the cross is made out of wood. This happened the year before the murders were to take place. These were all connections I have been able to put together within time. Infinity. In grammar school, my mom put me in a summer camp. I met a girl named Ronnie who told me she was depressed and she cuts herself. She said her mom would take her scissors away and tell her to stop, but I never saw any cuts. She seemed fine. Looking back now, the way she said it and the timing makes me believe someone encouraged her to say that to me, to put the idea in my mind. And with all of the biblical references that were made throughout my life, this moment now stands out as one of the earliest references to the Bible, specifically the crucifixion. Ronnie followed me on Snapchat and we had a streak together. In high school, she let our streak end and sent me a photo of herself giving me the middle finger. Many people I knew and didn't know were sending me pictures where they were giving me the middle finger. I have reason to believe that this coordinated effort was because there were several plans to harm me in high school and that didn't happen. Professors at DePaul University kept referencing gun. Kara Nedgel chose my lab partner to demonstrate a thermometer to her head. She said gun. The students also called the thermometer a gun. I knew what they were doing. They were referencing me to take my life. I also know now they knew about the December 26, 2025 plan. Investigate and this will come out. In another class, a student wrote on my lab, either live or die, purple your choice, and drew an infinity sign over whiteout. I believe the infinity sign written over whiteout was to resemble a crime being covered up. On May 21st, 2023, Ellie Bickelhop, the daughter of my mom's former office manager, Kathy Bickelhop, posted photos on Instagram with two other girls. One girl in that photo is giving the middle finger to the camera. In the caption, Ellie wrote infinity sign with an exclamation mark. The repeated use of infinity symbols, both in the classroom incident and in Ellie's post, was intended to symbolically reference the continuation of this crime. They don't just want to do this to our family, they want to target your family too. Neighbors would put trash on our property for us to figure out why they left certain items. In the summer of 2025, someone left a Dum Dum candy wrapper on the property. We now believe this was in reference to our family being the test dummies. They want to see what works and what doesn't work so that they can target as many families as they can. On July 27, 2020, Champagne Hees posted, "See you soon," with an X-ray emoji. He also shared a photo of himself wearing a shirt with the word poison written on it with stars above it. Another photo showed him standing straight with his arms in the air. On October 29th, 2022, my mom took pictures of me sitting on a black steel bench with a Halloween costume on. Our theology teacher told us we can submit Halloween photos for a contest. On October 31st, 2023, Champagne Hees made a social media post that received 310 likes, and we get harassed with the numbers 1 and 3. In the post, he is sitting on the left side of a black steel bench. The caption said, "Tired of waiting around for it like a big lady who ordered fast food or the girl in her 20s who's searching for love, but they can't coexist. So I make my move, terror in the air from these hot steps, avoiding the nonsense, cause losing not an option." On December 14th, 2023, my mom and I were up in Michigan and she took a photo of the black steel bench outside my grandma's home because someone had cut one of the legs off on the left side of the bench. When my mom asked Raymond about it, he asked if she noticed that he, Champagne Hees, was sitting on the same side where the bench was cut. She hadn't noticed that detail until he pointed it out. My mom then told my grandma about the bench being vandalized. My grandma told us that Ray Ray's friend was just up at the house before we came up there to rake the leaves, that he had taken pictures of his work and sent them to her. When we looked at the photos, my grandma said it is very weird that the bench is not in the photos and he made no mention of it being vandalized. The bench actually belonged to Raymond. What's interesting is that Champagne Hees had an X-ray emoji in his post. We believe Nancy is an ultrasound technician and we take the ray pay an x-ray for Raymond. Around 2 weeks later, the family member who staged the walkout told Raymond on the phone that he was leaving and didn't want to eat my mom's food because he didn't want to be poisoned. This family member mimicked one of Champagne Heese's posts that I just mentioned, where he is wearing a shirt that has the word poison written on it with stars above it. In the summer of 2025, our next door neighbor told my grandma and me that he had accidentally cut the steel bench with his lawnmower. This explanation didn't make sense because the mower blade sits close to the ground and the cut on the bench leg was much higher up. It also took him a year and a half to mention it, even though my mom had been at the house several times during that period. On May 23rd, 2024, Michael Moonen, a Brother Rice student, posted photos on Instagram and wrote, "Make that 2 yearbooks. I won't be able to close now. Hashtag thank you, Brother Rice. Hashtag it's been fun." In the comments, Aiden Pelican left an orange heart emoji. Michael Moonen replied to Aiden and wrote, "Have you gotten your bench fixed?" From Will M and his antics at Will Mearns at JJ McNicholas. Aiden Pelican responded, "Never. I have reason to believe that he is well aware of the bench incident and that he was coordinating harassment. He is also a friend of Cole Adamski, a boy who had unusual contact with me." I also want to point out that Drake goes by the name Champagne Poppy, which made the word champagne stand out to me in the username Champagne Hees. I also remember that during senior year, my lunch table did a Secret Santa and we exchanged gifts on December 14th, 2021. Kiriana had me for Secret Santa and she gave me a makeup mirror and a candle called Acai Champagne. On May 17th, 2025, our next door neighbor screamed into my bedroom window, "I have a gun and I am ready to use it." This wasn't a metaphor, it wasn't a suggestion, it was a direct threat to me through my window. At our family's Michigan cottage, strange things kept happening. Photos were stolen, the dryer was unplugged, underwear was left on a bed, my paddleboard was damaged, the bathroom mirror was shattered, and a steel bench was destroyed. The worst incident was when 2 animals were drowned in my grandparents' garbage can. We found the animals on my birthday, and at that exact moment, I received a lab safety email from DePaul. My mother's account passwords were changed to phrases like Bon Voyage, drastic changes, trouble, Subway 911. On September 7th, 2024, a stranger yelled outside our home on the Ring camera, "I just lost my job."
Do it! I just got my dog!
It was another taunt, another threat, another signal that we were being watched. On April 3rd, 2025, after nearly 18 years of service, my mother was let go. This wasn't a coincidence, it was coordinated. When she told James McCarthy, a partner of the firm, that she will get into that FBI building as we were being actively blocked, her car window was smashed the next day. On January 12, 2026, my mom and I drove up to Michigan to grab something from the home. When we returned to Chicago, I was unloading the car when I noticed an African-American male lingering in a white car in the alley. He asked me, "How is my friend Raymond doing?" After this interaction, I went inside. My grandpa later went out to her truck, and when she came back in, she said, "I believe I just saw Ruben Jr. drive by in a truck." She then warned me, "Christina, you need to be careful." These incidents happened between 4:10 to 4:20 p.m. At 5:49 p.m., I received a prank text that simply said, "Hey." The phone number is, I interpret this as confirming that Ruben, aka Jr., drove past our home to instill fear. Every event is planned out to foreshadow their plan. This incident connects Raymond and Ruben, aka Jr. They knew we were up in Michigan and knew when we returned home through tracking and stalking. We also believe that they, along with Mike, had plans to enter the Michigan home on January 3rd, 2026, and January 6, 2026, when we were there. We also believe they had plans to enter the Chicago home on January 11th, 2026, and January 17th, 2026. What I really want to point out is that the ultimate plans were to happen on December 26, 2025. The broken sewage pipe was what was supposed to lure us out to Michigan, and that didn't happen. We stayed at a hotel for Christmas, which is odd because in the past couple of years, we were going up to Michigan. Divine intervention stopped all of this. Nino. On February 14th, 2026, my mom and I took Nino to the vet where we adopted him. We adopted Nino at the animal welfare located at 10305 Southwest Highway in Chicago Ridge, Illinois. On this day, my mom went inside with Nino and talked with someone named Denise. In the conversation, Denise told her that they were just talking about Nino, and here he is. We must have ESP. When my mom left with Nino, she said there was a female employee sitting at the front desk and a female employee standing in a doorway. She said that the employee standing in the doorway said out loud, "Yeah, I need to take a flight." She repeated the word flight 2 more times. Employees at 2 different Petco locations participated in harassment. When my mom asked how our dog was after his bath, an employee at the Petco at 9670 Southwestern Avenue told her that our dog wouldn't get off the table, while an employee at the Petco at 6220 West 95th Street told her the opposite, that he wouldn't get on the table. 2 different locations, 2 opposite statements, both aligning with the pattern we were already documenting. On April 24, 2025, at approximately 3:14 p.m., my mom filed a complaint with Petco under reference ID number. An appointment was made for Nino that my mom never made. She also made an earlier complaint that he repeatedly came out of appointments extremely thirsty. She was told that she would receive a response to her complaint but never did. There was another instance that resulted in his ear being cut, even though he only receives baths and no haircuts. In another appointment, an employee claimed Nino didn't like the air dryer. My mom thought that the comment was weird. When we took Nino home, he was itching so badly we had to bathe him again at home. She also filed a complaint with the PetSmart at 2603 West 95th Street in Evergreen Park, where she was told she would receive a call from corporate, but no one ever contacted her. Walmart, Minute Clinic, Dunkin' Baskin Robbins. On February 18, 2025, my mom wrote an email to James McCarthy, who is a partner at the law firm where my mom previously worked at, and she wrote, "Also, is having Empest continue to hack/stalk my daughter and I a forced condition of my continued employment with a firm? Just curious, as this needs to stop." Here's an example of hacking/stalking that I sent in correspondence to the president of DePaul University. On February 8, 2025, Christina had an appointment at the diagnostic clinic in the Walmart at Bedford Park, Illinois. Once we walked through the doors, 2 security people approached us and told us the diagnostics was that way. This is a huge Walmart. How did they know why we were there? I purposely came back around and observed them for 30 minutes. I also took their photo to see how they greeted the rest of the people coming through the door. There were a lot of people coming through the door, and these 2 security people were too busy talking to one another and never made an effort to make conversation and or direct anyone coming through the door. On the visit, we had an appointment for 10:30 a.m. Christina signed in and her name was on the screen. At some point, a worker deleted her appointment and I had to complain. On February 12, 2026, Christina had an appointment with the Minute Clinic at 103rd Street. I tried to sign Christina in, but the response was that we didn't have an appointment. We did have an appointment, but our appointment was canceled and it was not our doing. The appointment was at 3 p.m. Later in the day at 6:11 p.m., I received a text from the Minute Clinic that said, "Sorry, you couldn't make it to your appointment." At 6:13 p.m., Professor Bird replied to an email of Christina's. Coincidence? I don't think so. Then my mom continued to write, "This happened yesterday." On February 17, 2025, we signed into the Minute Clinic for 11:50 a.m. appointment. Someone else was given our appointment time and we had to wait. The nurse practitioner couldn't answer to me how that happened. I have this all audio recorded. For documentation, the location of the Minute Clinic is 3951 West 103rd Street in Chicago, Illinois. On 2 separate occasions involved 2 different nurse practitioners participating in harassment at this location. The address of the Walmart is 7050 South Cicero Avenue, Bedford Park, Illinois. My mom made complaints to Walmart and they never followed through in resolving or investigating the matter. On June 27, 2025, my mom wrote an email to Doug McMillan, the CEO of Walmart, and she received no response. My mom also made a formal complaint about a sexual harassment incident she experienced at the Dunkin' Baskin Robbins located at 8736 South Kedzie Avenue, Evergreen Park, Illinois 60805. The owner, Jason R. Thornton, Vice President of Operations for the Henna Group, emailed my mom on June 17, 2025 at 12:19 p.m. He apologized for what happened, admitted the store fell short, and asked her to reach reach out so he could discuss the details and find a corrective action. She responded at 12:59 p.m. telling him everything was already in the written complaint and that the employee's behavior was unwarranted, unprofessional, and unacceptable. She asked him directly what he suggested. At 4 p.m., Jason emailed again saying they were taking the allegations seriously and would conduct a thorough and impartial investigation, including reviewing security footage, interviewing witnesses, and gathering documentation. He said they would keep her informed of any developments. After that message, he never contacted her again. No updates, no follow-ups, no investigation results. Jason disappeared, just like everyone else. On June 9th, 2025, the same day that sexual harassment incident occurred at the Dunkin' Baskin-Robbins, my mom asked the employee for his name and he first said Ahmed, then changed it to Eric, which happens to be the name of one of her brothers. She later learned that neither name was real. In her written complaint, she also documented that later that same night, June 19th, 2025, she received a survey email from a Walmart employee named Ahmed, matching the first false name the Dunkin' employee gave her. These are not isolated coincidences. Once investigators sit down and sift through all the emails we have, they will see the name correlations connecting businesses, institutions, family names, and symbolic patterns. On June 17th, 2025, the same day Jason R. Thornton, Vice President of Operations for the Henna Group, emailed my mom about her Dunkin' Baskin-Robbins complaint, he wrote, "These are grave matters, and we want to assure you that they will be addressed with the utmost seriousness and care." His disappearance after that statement did not align with the seriousness he claimed. The word grave stood out to my mom immediately because of what else happened that same day. On June 17th, 2025, my mom also submitted a complaint to Budget about the employee who told her a strange story involving a cemetery. In that complaint, she documented that when she returned home, her dad told her his home security monitor was acting up and that he saw a cemetery appear on the screen, something he believed someone had tapped into. The timing of Jason using the word grave on the exact same day my mom documented a Budget employee talking about a cemetery, and the same day her dad saw a cemetery on his monitor, as part of the pattern we've been documenting. When investigators eventually sit down and go through all of our emails, complaints, and timestamps, they will see the correlations, the repeated use of names, symbolism, and themes across businesses, institutions, and even family references, all appearing in ways that are too coordinated to ignore. Backstabbers. I recall that during Christmas, I believe it was 2020, I created a trivia game for my family. I wrote all of the questions and everyone split into teams and chose their own team names. My mom's brother Raymond and his wife Nancy called themselves the Backstabbers. More recently, after the bench incident in December 2023, I started noticing people posting photos online with their backs turned to the camera. On October 29th, 2023, Luke McCormick, a St. Rita student who followed me on Snapchat, posted a photo on Instagram and wrote, "When in Vegas." In the picture, there are 4 boys. One boy is wearing a baby carrier with a baby doll. In the comment section, Robbie Brattle wrote, "I forgive you for stabbing me at the 2021 Rice Rita game. Crown and haircut." On November 26, 2023, Sydney posted a photo of a boy wearing a tiara while a girl applied makeup to him. Her caption read, "Had a blast with the amazing cast and crew bringing the Bible to life with a heart." Around this time, I noticed repeated references across many people's posts, not just hers, to tiaras, crowns, kings, and queens. In another one of her photos, she and another girl were whispering into a girl's ear. I believe the tiara on the boy was meant to resemble the crown of thorns placed on Jesus' head by Roman soldiers to mock his claim that he was the king of the Jews. On July 21st, 2022, Savon Jones, someone I went to grammar school with, posted a picture of himself with the song Haircut by G Mac Cash playing in the background, along with a face emoji with a hand covering its mouth. On May 8th, 2024, my former classmate from Mother Macaulay, Kaylee McLean, posted photos on Instagram with the caption, "Same time next year." In the comments, Maggie wrote, "Song choice 100,000%. The song Kaylee used was Supercut by Lorde, which I believe symbolically references haircutting, and the fact that the artist's name is Lorde further ties it back to the biblical theme." That same day, May 8th, 2024, Nora Peters, a student at Marquette University, posted birthday photos with the caption, "Best people, best place." In the comments, Charlotte Davey wrote, "Pookie Dookie was a bear, Pookie Dookie had no hair." Again, invoking hair imagery. On the day of of my anatomy and physiology final exam, Jenny Tenakota told me she was thinking about cutting her long hair short. She said she really wanted to cut it, but ultimately never did. Additionally, on the day I took my community and population health ATI exam, Professor Mary Bowman came into class with her head fully shaved. We have 2 instructors for this course, and we were scheduled to have Professor Meredith Magulak supervise the exam that day, not Mary Bowman. Mary Bowman returned to the classroom after I had made complaints of sexual harassment against her, which made her unexpected presence during the exam deeply uncomfortable for me, especially because DePaul University and the Department of Education did nothing in response to my complaints. I believe her presence that day was orchestrated. My brother also contributed to this pattern. He would tell me that I should cut my hair and that no girl has hair as long as mine. He would also send me photos of his haircuts, reinforcing the same theme of hair being highlighted, commented on, or symbolically emphasized. I believe these haircut references may also connect to the biblical story of Samson, whose strength was taken from him when his hair was cut. In that context, cutting or shaving hair represents the removal of power, identity, protection, and the ultimate act of betrayal. Please visit my link tree to look at weaponized birthdays, holidays, judicial failures, correlations, and more. Chronological timeline chart. This timeline highlights key incidents. It does not include everything and still needs to be updated. Here is some of the information included in the timeline. You can pause it to read it or read it on my link tree. I will read some of the events to you. Institutional pathologizing and workplace provocation. Mother Macaulay High School 2019 to 2023. Educators, administrators, and parents were aware of harm but failed to intervene. After reporting bullying, Christina was directed towards therapy using formal documentation and was approached to join counseling groups under engineered pretexts. Classmates were groomed and the targeting spread to additional schools. October 3rd, 2023, DePaul University. Dr. Bird, head of nursing, and Dr. Amer met with Christina in person as she disclosed bullying issues. In the meeting, Dr. Amer suggested to Christina to get off social media and said it is paranoia. Dr. Bird abruptly cut the meeting short and escorted Christina to Mr. Christian Carey, saying he would be better able to assist. Carey's title or role was not disclosed to Christina, but he is a psychologist. At the front desk, Dr. Bird and the staff members smirked, interpreted as coercive signaling. Angelique texted Christina in real time, warning of covert psychiatric labeling. Plaintiffs allege officials have been briefed and instructed to obstruct accountability. November 3rd, 2024, DePaul University. Professor Epstein emailed the entire class stating, "It is me. Hi. I'm the problem. It is me." He framed this around his own time management. These words are lyrics from Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero, which immediately reference the sun in the next line. Though presented as Professor Benjamin Epstein's personal reflection on his own time management, the lyric reference is deliberately connected to Christina's Explore Chicago time management assignment in the fabricated Tudor comment. November 4th, 2024. On November 4th, 2024, Christina wrote an email to Professor Benjamin Epstein regarding her grades. He replied with, "Thanks for reaching out, and I hope you are doing well." Repeated use of wellness language across professors, deflecting academic concerns into wellness framing. November 4th, 2024, DePaul University. Professor Shelko emailed Christina, "Hope you're in a good place. There are services at the university that may be able to help if you wish." November 5th, 2024, DePaul University. Student support specialist James Shamar emailed Christina to check in, including a disability service link and counseling/psychological services contacts, despite no request or disclosure. November 5th, 2024, DePaul University. Christina received a care and concern notification framed as supportive but delivered without context or consent. Angelique contacted Mr. Shamar James requesting explanation and a meeting with the Dean of Students, citing inappropriate behavior by the mythology professor. November 7th, 2024, DePaul University. Dean Ellen Fangato sent Christina a care and concern notification offering a meeting and listing university counseling/pastoral resources. Institutional misconduct into a mental health narrative. November 22nd, 2024, DePaul University. Dean of Students Ellen Fangato, also Title IX coordinator, emailed Christina. "Finally, as we discussed, I would strongly recommend taking advantage of the university's free and confidential counseling services. Additionally, if you are interested in pastoral care, the university also offers this service. Contact numbers for counseling and psychological services and Division of Mission and Ministry were included." February 12th, 2025, DePaul University. Dean of Students Ellen Fangato emailed Christina listing university resources available at no cost, counseling and psychological services Services and the Division of Mission and Ministry. February 19th, 2025, DePaul University. Dean of Students Ellen Fingado emailed Christina stating as a reminder that free university resources were available, counseling and psychological services in the Division of Mission and Ministry. February 19th, 2025, DePaul University. Christina emailed Dr. Bird, if you are so concerned for my well-being and worry about me being in the clinical setting, then where have you been since 2023? Dr. Bird never replied. A week before this incident, Dr. Bird approached Christina while she was sitting at a hallway table doing homework with earbuds in front of other students and randomly asked how she was doing. March 5th, 2025, 3:17 p.m. DePaul University. Dean of Students Ellen Fingado emailed Christina stating concern for her well-being and encouraging herself to use university-free resources many students find helpful, including counseling and psychological services and the Center for Students with Disabilities. The email closed with, "Sincerely hope you are doing well." When Christina replied at 11:54 p.m. asking if the disability link was sent to her because she is young and therefore vulnerable to exploitation, Dean Fingado did not respond and disappeared. March 12, 2025, DePaul University. Dr. Bird stated that she had changed the mental status slides used for exam study purposes. Christina checked the slides and confirmed they were not changed. She emailed Dr. Bird to tell her the claim was fabricated. Dr. Bird made this up as a signaling gesture. March 5th, 2025, DePaul University. Professor Shelko emailed Christina, "I hope all is well with you." April 25th, 2025, DePaul University. Dr. Bird emailed Christina sending links to counseling and psychological services in the Center for Students with Disabilities. She also wrote to Christina, "Hope you are doing well." May 1st, 2025, DePaul University. Dr. Bird emailed Christina writing, "Hope you're doing well." May 7th, 2025, DePaul University seminar. After Christina disclosed hacking concerns and fireworks being set off when she communicated with DePaul University staff, seminar professor Daniela Meyer responded, "As far as hacking fireworks issue, that must be very stressful and anxiety producing. Remember that DePaul offers free counseling if you feel it would help discussing what's been going on. These are stressful times all around and we can all benefit from talking things through with others." July 22nd, 2025 and September 12th, 2025. On July 22nd, 2025, Monica Wojnicki, a post-licensure student success coordinator, sent a wellness email to nursing students and others, a distribution that totaled 77 people. The email opened with, "In the demanding world of nursing, it is easy to lose sight of your own well-being." It promised healing practices, reflective discussions, and take-home strategies. At the bottom, Monica wrote in bold, "This is for you." She included a brain emoji. Later, she sent a second email writing, "This event is still on my calendar. Is anyone facilitating this in Monica's absence?" Referring to herself. "If not, perhaps we should cancel it. I seen it was sent out to a lot of students." Jason Novak, operations coordinator for the College of Science and Health, did not respond until September 12, 2025, 2 months later and the first day of Christina's clinicals. On the day, he wrote that the September 24, 2025 wellness event would be canceled and that they would work with the Wellness Center to plan additional events. September 15th, 2025, DePaul University. Dean of Students Ellen Fingado emailed Christina stating that a meeting was required out of concern for her well-being to properly offer any support/resources she may need. September 12th, 2025, DePaul University. Dean of Students Ellen Fingado emailed Christina reiterating her September 15th, 2025 request and prior outreach stating that the meeting was out of concern for your well-being. September 19th, 2025, Northwestern Hospital Clinical. During a clinical at Northwestern Hospital, David Lawrence, Christina's DePaul University clinical instructor, randomly approached her in person and asked, "Are you okay?" 2020 through 2021, Mother Macaulay High School. Miss Arnold attempted to trick Christina into joining a therapy group. 2022, Mother Macaulay High School, right before senior year. Administrators encouraged Angelique to sign documents regarding counseling services for Christina. Angelique declined and stated she would not be seeing one. This occurred after Christina and Angelique reported extreme bullying at the school, including Christina being targeted through online bullying. 2018, Gunty and McCarthy workplace incident. Angelique verbally initiated a complaint against a coworker. The coworker, eavesdropping outside, entered and screamed, then slammed the door so hard paint chips fell from the ceiling. Angelique was forced to write a complaint before leaving despite emotional distress. The next day, she received an email from the supervising attorney referencing her as having a personality disorder. The email disappeared immediately after viewing. The office manager suggested she take an anger management course despite being the target of aggression. When Angelique asked if she should take the issue outside of the office, the anger management suggestion was dropped. This was a coordinated setup to portray instability. instability. Angelique started at the law firm in 2007. No reports of instability or disorder for over a decade. After more than a decade without any concerns, the sudden introduction of instability language in 2018 reflects a shift and how the firm chose to frame her, not a change in who she was. And in 2022, the same supervising attorney who introduced that framing actively negotiated for Angelique to stay, directly contradicting his own 2018 characterization. Update: Bank of America contradictions. In the first part of this video, I explained how my mom's available credit on her Barclays credit card dropped by about $7,000 overnight, just 2 days before she was scheduled to pick up a rental car on March 9th, 2026. Because the available credit suddenly disappeared, she wasn't able to secure the rental car. She didn't have time to make a payment that would post in time, since payments can take up to 2 business days. The timing of all of this left her without the ability to pick up the vehicle, and it created a serious concern for our safety and our plans. On March 7th, 2026 at 4:10 p.m., my mom called Bank of America to stop withdrawals from her account. She spoke with a representative named Alex, who told her that he placed a stop on the account and that she wouldn't need to worry about further withdrawals. However, on March 10th, 2026, there was a withdrawal of over $600 from her Bank of America card. The timing was interesting, especially because she had been told 2 days earlier that the stop was already in place, and no one mentioned anything about a 3 business day waiting period. Not being told this made the situation even more confusing. At 4:31 p.m. on March 10th, she spoke with another representative who said her name was Carla. Carla told her that stop payment requests take 3 business days to become active. My mom explained that Alex never told her this, and Carla agreed that he should have informed her. It also stood out to us that the representative name was Carla. At the same time, we were dealing with issues involving a rental car. The overlap felt unusual. There are moments in life where the timing and details line up in ways that don't feel like coincidences, and this was one of those moments for us. Because of all of this, my mom closed her account with Bank of America on March 10th, 2026. Mohila Federal Student Aid. On March 10th, 2026, I received a letter from Mohila titled Notice of Repayment Schedule Change. The letter is dated February 27th, 2026, but I received it 11 days later based on the date of the letter. The letter states my new payment amount and says the payments begin on June 13th, 2026. I have well documented the harassment involving numbers 1 and 3, and I want to point out that June 13th, 2026 is a Saturday. The timing and the date stood out to me, especially given everything I have experienced. My education was taken from me, and receiving this letter in this way felt unsettling and added to the pattern of issues I've been documenting. My mom has also been having problems with her student loans with Mohila, where they ignored her letter and requests regarding her account. We were saved by the grace of God. Those involved have plans to do this to more children, the elderly, more adults, and more families. I'm sure they already know who they want to target or who they may have already started to target. While I write this, they have confirmed it. This is dangerous and can never happen again. My social media is being suppressed because countless people do not want you to know what is happening. Know that many people support this, including celebrities and influencers. Many of the people you follow, support, and watch are okay with child exploitation. Everyone who knew did nothing, and many are participating. They care more about money and status than children and families. The public has a right to know who they are. They all need to be held accountable, along with every person who came together to help commit this crime. My mom and I want the world to know that God has been guiding us through divine intervention. My mom, my grandparents, and I were saved by the grace of God. There is so much we want to share with the public about how God has protected us. God's warning to the people. God is sending a message to the people that this is extremely dangerous. Vulnerable people will continue to be targeted if this is not fully exposed. They are trying to normalize this and spread it fast. This will tear families apart, and the destruction will be greater over time. Their goal is to turn people away from God and to obtain wicked power. It does not matter who you are or how much money you have. They will target anyone. This needs to end now. They will take your freedom away. They will take your education away. They will turn your children against you. They will sexually exploit your children. They will sexually exploit you. They will psychologically harm you and your children. They will drain your finances. They will isolate you. you. They will surveil you. They will watch you on cameras in your home, in your car, in your neighborhood, and everywhere you go. They will listen to every single conversation that you have. They will violate your privacy. They will turn people against you. They will lie to your face. They will gaslight you. They will label you crazy. They will threaten you. They will blacklist you. They will control you medically. They will make everything about you public. They will get your family, friends, and neighbors to go against you. They will control your social media. They will harass you every day. They will ultimately control you. They want you jobless, homeless, and abused. They will ultimately take your life and cover it up. They feel empowered that it won't get out. Therefore, they will decide your fate. They have been indoctrinating children to go against God, to lack empathy, and to be immoral, and they convince them that they can do whatever they want and will not get caught. The parents of these children allow it. Demand full exposure. The police will not protect you. The police will block you from your right to speak with an FBI agent. The court system will fail you. The court system will seal your complaint from the public. They will deny your motions and find every reason to dismiss your case. The court does not care about child exploitation. They will do everything they can to keep you from having legal representation. The courts will continuously side against you. They will do everything they can to keep you from getting media exposure. They will do everything they can to keep you from getting help from various institutions. They will reroute your phone calls so you think you are speaking to the place you dialed, but you are not. They will monitor your every next move so they can combat it. They will continuously put you in harm's way. They will monitor the places you go to and get the employees to harass you. Teachers, administrators, and the principal will fail you. You will share what is happening with people you trust. They will act concerned and act shocked even though they already know, and later they will be the same people who turn around and harass you. It will get severely worse over time and become chaotic. This is exactly what we have been experiencing, except God will not allow it to go further. We are here to show the world what we had to go through to expose the demons that are trying to take over this world and why this can never happen again. Ultimately, this is to bring people to God. Know that we were their test, but we were saved by God's grace, because God is calling on us to warn the people. It is up to the people to listen and to do something about it. God has been guiding us and protecting us through every step of this. I was illegally removed from DePaul University. The president of DePaul University allowed it, along with many others. My mom lost her job and her finances are being controlled. My elderly grandparents are vulnerable and this is happening to them too. Think about it. How are elderly people, children, and other vulnerable adults supposed to survive a system that uses its power and money to harm you? While we are currently being silenced and threatened every day, God has told us not to worry. God has intervened and God is very loving. The world will hear and see our story and witness the miracles that happened only through God. We would not have survived this without God. Their plans against me in high school did not happen. Their continued attacks to murder us have failed. God knows everything and God wants the people to open their eyes to what is happening before it is too late. This is a warning. This is why this is called a great awakening. What is happening is a miracle right before you. God wants this exposed to the public and for the public not to ignore it. God wants people to turn to Him and pray. You will understand this in time. We will share our experiences with divine intervention in separate videos because they deserve their own space. God is warning the people because God so loved the world. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. We are following the path that God has put in front of us. As John 3:16 reminds us, God's love for the world is so deep that He offers hope, truth, and redemption to everyone. And that is the foundation we are standing on.